Now you're more fluent.
Yeah.
All right, we live. What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. It's been a crazy week. Tom Brady, the GOAT, is retired, maybe. How do you guys feel about that? Is he coming back?
He's not retired. He's
Is he
not
coming back, you
retired.
guys?
He's not retired. He's taking a break.
Oh my
He doesn't want to do off-season
Knock it off,
workouts.
Tom.
He wants
Knock
to
it
see
off,
where
Tom.
everybody else goes.
Knock it off,
He's
Tom.
not retired. He's not
No,
retired.
knock it off, Tom. Tom, when are you going to let this go, Tom? That's what I want to know. When are you going to let this go? We're not talking about a 34-year-old Tom Brady that's that's washed up or anything. We're talking about a 46-year-old. He's going to be 46 on opening night, Tom. He is over. He is done. I don't play pro football no more. I got a $300 million contract waiting for me on television with Fox. I don't have to do this anymore. There's no reason for me to play football anymore. Why am I still playing football?
Why? Why? Here's why. Let me tell you why. Because he gave up a supermodel who makes more money than him, hundreds of millions of dollars, and time with his family and kids, who he loves to kiss on the mouth. Why did he give that up? For one horrible season in Tampa? No. To have a shot at winning something, and he knows, that he was still like third in yards or second in yards thrown this season. I don't care if he's 107, he still has it, and he still has that desire. He still has
That's true. That Tom Brady at 70 is better than most quarterbacks at 30.
Let me give you a really good example of who Tom Brady is. Tom Brady is Rocky Balboa. Even though he's done, even though he's knocked out and concussed and can't think no more, and his wife is in the grave and everything's done, what did Rocky say? I still got that itch. Remember, I think it was the movie Balboa, where his son is like, you're going to embarrass me, Dad.
Which was Rocky 6.
That's right.
It was Rocky, which we didn't need. We didn't need Rocky 7, Rock. Yeah. Oh, we did not need that.
Fantastic. It was so much better than the one with that Tommy Gunn fella.
Oh my God. We didn't need Rocky 5 neither, Tone. No, we didn't.
That was the one. That was the one with Tommy Gunn.
You're making a point, Jay.
We didn't need Rocky 5 neither, Tone. But
what happened? We didn't need it. You're right. We don't need Tom Brady to make another comeback, but he's got that itch. He's got that itch.
Yeah, but he's going to damper his
not.
career. Yeah.
You know what? What does every superstar athlete do? They come back 1 year too many. And this wasn't that year. Next year might be the year that it's one too many, right? We saw Olajuwon in Toronto. We saw Patrick Ewing in Orlando. We saw Jerry Rice in Seattle. They always go too far when they're that great. And now you have people sitting on ESPN telling Stephen A, listen, Peyton Manning's the greatest regular season quarterback in history.
Here we go.
Joe Montana's the greatest winner. The only reason Tom Brady's the GOAT is because, he was in the perfect system at the right time and he has the most championships.
Well, here's the thing, though, Tone.
Yes, Tony Parker, Charlotte. Yes, thank you.
Okay, Tone. I can buy that logic if he was 35, right? He'll be 46 on opening night. Everything that he needs to do, he already did it. We've seen all of it, Tone. We're talking about a quarterback who has almost 90,000 passing yards. You know who's going to come close to him? You know who's going to come close to that? Not anybody in my lifetime. I can tell you that right now. I'm not going to see a guy. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be alive. I take pretty good care of myself, Tone, but I don't think I'm going to be alive for another 50 years to see a dude throw for 90,000 yards. I don't think that's going to happen, Tone. That's number one. Number two, the dude was in a bowl game. The dude played 23 years. He was in a bowl game 10 times. Okay? 10 times this dude was in a bowl game. Okay? Not only was he in a bowl game 10 times, his team won the bowl game 7 times his team won the bowl game. There is no reason for you to still play. Add all that up to the fact, what you just said, Toe, he left a supermodel. Okay, Giselle was a supermodel about 20 years ago. She's not a supermodel anymore. She's somebody's mother now. Okay? She is not that chick anymore. No. Is she still fly? Oh, hell yeah, she's still fly. But she ain't Giselle. She's Giselle Bunsen now. That's who she is. She ain't Giselle no more. And knock it off, Tone. No, knock it off. She is not that chick anymore. Was she that chick 10 years ago when she was with Tom Brady? Hell yeah. But is she that chick today? Are you telling me she's that super? Is she walking on the catwalk in France today or in Paris today? No, she's not. She is not. Is she still fly? Is she?
Yeah.
Absolutely, she's still fly. But is she that chick anymore? No. So he did not leave a supermodel. He married a supermodel. There's the difference. There's a difference between marrying a supermodel and leaving a supermodel. He married a supermodel. There's a difference. It's not the same thing. It's time for this dude to hang him up. That doesn't mean that
You're so lucky I was muted because I was screaming expletives. That is so fantastic that it was. I don't even believe what I'm hearing.
What part of it are you confused about, Tone?
He left regardless. If it was Peggy Bundy, he left his wife and kids to play football. He is not going to go out like that. I'm telling you. The script
maybe
says,
it'll hit him, Fluent. Maybe he finally was like, what am I doing?
The script says when you're a superstar athlete, you retire, come back, you retire, come back, you retire, come back.
No,
he did that.
Brett Favre already did that, Tone.
Oh my god.
No,
do you remember Brett Favre at 41, Tone? Do you remember him?
Yeah, he was great.
Wait.
Great at what, Tone?
At helping my narrative that he stunk.
Right.
Wait, I have a question. Of all the athletes that you can think of, who had that like perfect retirement? Like, because MJ came and went, you know, he retired and retired. But who ended their career on that like note? You're like, dang, that's how you should do it. Because Tom should have retired when he won the Super Bowl. He should have just done it that way, but he didn't, and he'll probably be back again and again. Is there anyone who had that perfect exit?
Can I first I need to say something to Mr. Aboriginal because he thinks this is a Flash poster, bro. This ain't a Flash poster, bro.
Oh, that's the real
Flash.
Flash.
Poster, bro. This is like never been
Flash.
The Flash, bro. But anyways,
so a dude who still had it is what you asking, H Boogie. But when he stepped off, he didn't step off too late. So Mariano Rivera, I think Derek Jeter was over when he stepped off. Jay was over when he stepped off. But when I think about all-time greats, I think we got robbed of a lot of all-time greats who stepped off.
You think too early?
Yeah,
like Barry
too
Sanders.
early or way too late. Like I feel
Barry
like that's
Sanders is a guy.
I think Jim Brown.
9 years, Tone. He still was the best running back in the league. He still was the best running back in the league. Still at that point.
Wade was too early. I think people are saying.
He still was the best running back in the league. When I think about football guys, Peyton Manning couldn't throw past 30 yards, so he was over. Right? Yeah. Baseball, Derek Jeter was over. Mariano Rivera was over. Nolan Ryan was over, and he was 45. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. Yeah, I can't think about anybody who stepped off. Like if Jay would have stepped off in '98 and never came back, that would have been perfect.
But
that would have been that would have been perfect. If Jay would have stepped off in '98 after what happened in Utah and never came back, I think we would have been good. I don't think I would have. I think that it would have been a completely different swan song with him, no doubt. So I can't think about anybody off the top of my head that he retired at the perfect time.
Yeah,
because those are the guys that I'm thinking about.
Yeah. And I get it. Like when you're the best at what you do, it's so hard to just hang it up and be done. Like you're always, like Fluent said, you're always going to have that itch, right? But yeah.
Like Bryant was over. Like Kobe was over when he retired in 2016. He was over. I know you don't want to hear that, Tone, but
look at that.
Unfortunately, that happens to the best of them. David Robinson when he retired in 2003, he was over. I mean, we could talk. We can talk about plenty of guys that they either stuck around too long or left too soon. Barry Sanders is the one guy that I think about when he quit. I'm thinking, what are you doing? You can't quit now.
That might need to be a episode. Like we might need to take a look at that. Like who were the guys like retired too late, too early, whatever. Like make our list.
We could start. We should become agents specifically for like retiring athletes or athletes in their later years, and then we could like coach them throughout that time.
Oh, we could teach them how to not be bankrupt after 3 years.
Yeah. No,
we could. Yeah, you know what? We'll tell you when's the time to leave, when's the time to stay. That's not a bad idea. You know, Trista click the heat check Trista. One. We're still trying to work out a date that works for everybody, for us to be on her show and her to be on our show. But my battery's died. Damn it. I'm still on the air. But she created something I thought was good. She for young athletes. She started the thought protection program.
I saw that, dude.
From thoughts.
Thought protection program.
like-
Thought protection. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
actually, though,
it was smart. It was smart.
But here's the thing, though. We actually have thought protection. You know who we have for thought protection? Our friends. Yes,
No, they
we
don't
do.
help you.
No.
Yes, they do. See,
The NBA is literally like creating specific rules for these guys in order to like protect themselves.
But here's the difference, though. Is when you have a posse of people, right? When you have a posse of people, there is that one. I've always felt like this, Tone. The president of the United States, of all the people that's around him, he's got one person that when that person talks, he might not do everything that person says, but he at least listens.
But he listens.
So the athlete, the young athlete, the 21, the 22-year-old that's getting mountains of money, and he's coming up with ridiculous ideas, and 8 out of 10 guys are going, this is a great idea. This is a great idea. There's one guy in that group or 2 guys in that group going, yo, this is a terrible idea, and here's why.
Yeah.
This is why we should not do this, right? So that's the thought. That's the thought protection. The problem is that they don't listen to him. Tone, you don't think that? Tone, do you think that there was somebody in Michael Vick's camp when Michael Vick started with the dog fighting ring that said to Mike, "Hey, Mike, I don't know about this dog fighting thing. This might not be a good idea, man. I mean, I know we get money."
No, it was his brother telling him, "Yo, I need your help with this." He was funding his brother. That was his brother's operation,
right? It was his brother's operation, but there had to have been somebody in the group going, "Yo."
Yeah, but who's he closer to? Who does he respect more? Right? Have mutual respect for most. Yeah. It's a crazy world.
We got someone waiting in the wings. We got a special guest.
Yeah, let's go.
Do you guys want to bring him on now?
Yeah, bring him on.
All right. Who we got?
Let's get into it.
So we
got a guest, chat. Welcome.
Yeah, chat has to guess.
In the house? Who we got in the house?
Chat has to guess who it is.
Yeah, give us a guess.
I'll start by saying he's the guru. He's the guru of hip hop. He's the governor of soul. He's my man for all things. You know, when I'm like, am I truly fluent in this musical piece? I go to him for advice.
Let's learn.
Any guesses? It's the source, of course.
Hello.
What?
Hold on. Can I serenade y'all one time real quick?
Yes, please.
Can I serenade y'all one time?
Yeah.
This is special for my man, OG. It goes like this. Fly, eagles, fly on the road to victory.
You might get kicked off the show.
Fight, eagles, fight. Score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hold on. It was 4, actually. Hit them low, hit them high. Wait, hit them low? No, hit them high at the arm. That was Purdy and Johnson. And watch our eagles fly. Fly, eagles, fly. On the road to victory. Sing it with me, OG. EAGLES, Eagles. No?
Oh, boy.
Wrong crowd.
Yeah, you got 2 49ers fans, just so you know.
Word?
They're not happy. Yeah. They're not happy right now.
Yeah.
Whoa, bang, bang.
So I'm gonna get to the Eagles in a minute. First, let's complain that YouTube won't let you come on and spin some records for us, because we were gonna get you like our favorite hip hop tracks. And I know that so we can't do that, unfortunately. So in the chat, send us your favorite tracks. Let me ask you this. You asked me, you asked Jay, and I'm assuming you asked some other people to like give you a bunch of, what tracks that they listen to the most while they were preparing for sports. Did you see it? Was there a common theme? Was it all over the place? Were there some that kind of kept coming back over and over and over again?
Actually,
Jay might not talk to you the whole show, just so you know. I can tell him by his face.
No, it's not that. I'm sorry. The Memphis Grizzlies in Cleveland just got into a brawl.
I know.
Like a fight. They just got into a fight.
Hands were thrown.
Who's the leader?
A bench clearing fight. Like we're gonna have some people. We got some people thrown out of the game. So I'm sorry. I got detracted. But as you were saying, so I'm listening to you, brother.
Actually, I only asked you two that specific question, and the answers weren't. Well, they were. I mean, I actually didn't ask y'all the exact same thing. I changed the question up for everybody. So I was doing a Hip Hop is Life series. It ended up being 17 installments. Just asking different people on TikTok something specific to their life and how hip hop has affected it.
Mm.
But everybody loved your answers, Tony. Everybody loved your
my answers.
Yeah,
What'd you
yeah,
say? What'd you say?
I asked him what were 3 songs that he listened to pre-game when he was in college, and he said,
I said this or that by Black Sheep.
This or that.
Know the Ledge, and Uptown Anthem.
There it is.
Yeah. Hip Hop Junkies was actually would have been 4th, but I didn't know how many people would know that one.
Come on, man.
No.
Well, you're right. You're right.
I don't like. Come on, like because I've sat there going, because we changed up the words, right? So it's like nice and smooth is funky. So we instead of hip hop, we were like, oh so b-ball junkie, all we wanna do, and then we would dunk. It's like and we'd grab you. So we changed it up, but how many people know that? I don't know.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, Sauce, and I want to get right to the meat and potatoes of it. Everybody has a story about hip hop. So me, when I heard Dougie Fresh go cash in checks, make sound effects, and after I finish rocking slick, Rick is on next. I was in. I was 12 years old, and I need this in my life. I'm married to it. I'm in forever. When was that moment for Sauce?
Here's the funny part. In my household, there was only gospel music, bro. Only gospel. My mom has never owned the only secular, if you can call it secular, project that I've ever seen my mom own was a Johnny Mathis Christmas album. That's it.
Yes.
So we didn't get cable until late. Even when we did, it was no BET at first. So it was like, it was my philosophy, really.
Right.
Hearing hip hop before that was cool, but when my philosophy, that video and the beat drops at the beginning and KRS is, rhyming a cappella, getting out the Jeep and landing on the joint, and then the beat comes. Oh yeah, that was it right there. That was it right there.
We don't talk. It's so funny that you brought up KRS because I just saw a kid on the street interview 50 Cent, and he said, as a kid, who was your favorite rapper? Yeah. And he says KRS-One.
Yep.
And the kid goes, I don't know who that is.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's unreal.
And he
right
goes,
there.
okay, well, I really like Roddy Ricch right now.
Right.
But it was
relatable.
Yeah. So I can't play you. I'm going to give you just the first little bit of the first song I heard that like made me fall in love with hip hop. Tell me if you can guess it. Another guy who doesn't get enough respect.
LL.
I heard my radio and I was just like, yeah. I went up and got. Anyways, long story. Anyways, hey Hailey, tell us about how when you first heard Kanye West, you fell in love with hip hop.
What have I ever said about Kanye?
I don't know.
Actually, I do like Kanye's music. I won't lie, I do a lot. I mean, out of all, I'm a late '90s baby, so my mom actually. She had me at 16, so super young. Yep. And M was obviously one of her favorite rappers at the time. She also raised me on a lot of R&B, Alicia Keys, that kind of thing. So, but yeah, I mean, I guess my favorite, I like new hip hop for sure. I do. But I love the depth in lyrics as well. And sometimes I feel like that's lost, or maybe I just can't relate to a lot of the newer. But yeah, I would say, well, I guess you're asking hip hop, huh?
Yeah.
Or you could just say music. You love Taylor Swift. I don't know.
Hey, there's some good Taylor has some good for sure. I won't lie. I mean, J. Cole is for sure like one of my all-time like, hip hop rap, whatever. Drake is cool. Jay, obviously. I'm trying to think, but yeah, like M is definitely one of my favorites too. I like all. I'm not like when you say like name your favorite hip hop, like I kind of just like all music, All
right. So I have a clip for you, Source, that I came up. I don't know why it came up on my feed today. And I immediately thought of you. And I was like, oh, I got to ask him his thoughts on this clip. So I'm going to play it real quick. and just tell me your thoughts, and then we're going to talk about the Eagles.
Humpty Hump.
Mm-hmm.
I love that clip. I love that clip. Rest in peace, Shock G.
Mm-hmm.
That's a beautiful explanation. That's an explanation far further musically than my mind can go into specifics. But hearing him say it, you know exactly what he means, and you can feel it. And I think everything that he said was factual.
Let me ask you this though, Sauce. You are a hip hop connoisseur. I call you the governor of hip hop. Anybody that's whatever you need to know. If you don't know it, talk to Sauce. He got the information for you. So, what kind of listener of hip hop are you? For me, for example, I'm a lyricist. I listen to the time that we came up. If you was rhyming, you had to say something that made sense. And not only did you have to say something that made sense, it had to coincide with the beat. You couldn't rhyme off beat. Not only could you not rhyme off beat, you had to say something that was substantial. So what catches your ear when you listening to rap, when you listening to rappers today, or even not just today, when you first started? What catches your ear?
Well, just you said today first, so I'll say that today I feel like a lot of times today I'm listening more to the music and the pattern of the rhyme, but originally it was bars, it was lyrics, it was the content specifically. And I'm not saying it's not content still today. I'm just saying before, like in the past, teenage years up to 20s, 30s, it was bars. It was the lyrics, the content, the creativity.
Yep.
Because, I mean, we all know that it used to be you had to be different in order to be respected or seen. Today it is you have to be the same in order to be respected or seen. And I think part of it is because music is so easily accessible and everybody can do it from their home. So if you don't at least sound like the popular people, how am I supposed to know that you're even good or respectable? That's what it is today, as opposed to early days. We were looking for something different, something special, or something that stood out, whether it was lyrically or the sound or the music.
Source, what for you? I mean, you know how music can bring you back to a certain time in life or a certain period of time. What era of hip hop gives you that nostalgia that kind of overcomes the others?
Oh, 90s definitely. I could say late 80s, but more that 92 to 96-ish range, 92 to 96. That was a special time. And I guess that's because it was right after high school, college, working, life, and growing up with the music.
I think that when you go ahead, H.
I was just going to read the super chat. You go, Jay, and then we'll get to it.
When you're talking about that era, like 92 to 96, that's when rap was actually evolving. Because up until that point, if you remember, I'm sure you remember this, like we were just listening to the lyricists. But then we got introduced to Ice Cube. We got introduced to the West Coast, and they told us how they were living over there. So now it's not just party music. It's not just lyricists. It's actually people telling us. I think they call them street reporters is what they call them. So now we get introduced to those dudes, right? And then we get introduced to those dudes on the East Coast even more, because now that's what's popular. Not just that's what's popular, but that's what's popping. So I think that was a real interesting time.
Yeah, a lot of that is which I just thought about it the other day. A lot of what draws us to the 90s, in my opinion, is the fact that was when music branched out more, like you just said.
Yeah.
So you got the 80s, it's predominantly East Coast.
Right.
And there's nothing really West Coast, or especially not down south at all.
Well, unless you were living in the West Coast and there was underground, like it was there. But yes,
true.
In terms of
definitely
shared across the country, yes.
Yeah, but until you hit that I mean, you can say Ice-T, you can say a couple of West Coast artists, but until you hit that NWA, Ice Cube, Solo, Chronic, from there, and then you branch out and you're in Texas with the Ghetto Boys, and then you move to Atlanta with Outkast. South got something to say. It became the national, product.
You just gave me chills. That was everywhere. A moment. I remember that was a moment when he said South got something to say.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy.
Tone, you said, and Tone, you talking about we giving you chills. I don't know who Outkast is at the Source Awards in 1995.
Word?
I don't know who they are. I don't.
Oh.
I have no idea who South. I don't know who Andre 3000 is. I don't know who Big Boy is. Meanwhile, they the artists. They the new artists of the year, and I'm like, who are these dudes? I already know who Scarface is, right? I already know what's going on in Texas. I already know who NWA is. I know who Cube is. I know who Tupac is. I know who all of these dudes are. I do not. In 1995, when they introduced Outkast, I don't know who these dudes are.
The only reason I think I had a wider knowledge is because in 93 I was working in a record store. Right. And so we had to like be more, they're like, hey, you got to listen to stuff that you normally wouldn't listen to, you know, not just hip hop. Like we had to listen to country and rock and whatever, but we'd get stuff from all over the place. So I was like, who? Andre 3000. I got Andre 3000 in my top 5. I think he's so underrated. I also have Rakim as 1, but I'm just saying, but it was because we were throwing on records and cassettes, and we're just like playing everything just to see. So I was like, who are these? Like these, like when you said Ghetto Boys, I was like, yeah, like all these guys were like, wouldn't have known them if I didn't work there. Wouldn't have known. So
I
was just like, hey, yo, let's keep playing this Tribe record. Let's keep playing this Tribe record.
I would have been with you. Hey, just yes to your commenter, Jaden credit.
Yeah, anybody up here listen to West Side Gun and
Come
Conway?
on, man. Griselda is crazy. I think West Side Gun's album 10 from last year was probably one of my favorite 3 or 4 albums that came out in 2022, and it was a plethora of hip hop in 2022.
And just to add to those guys that you just mentioned, so how much has hip hop, just as a culture, how much has it evolved from back in 1991 to 2021 to 2023? How much different is it today?
It's a world of difference, because one, the thing about music being more accessible and everybody can do it. So there's that, and at this point, people in our age range have artists who are still out there doing their thing now. As we age, they're aging, but they're still active. People maybe a generation before us, they don't have that with hip hop. This is the first time that we've had artists that are 50 going into 60 still dropping projects. Right. This wasn't a thing in hip hop. This is the first time that hip hop has had people this old, basically. Right. So it's new to everybody. I respect music that's more recent, music that's like, it's a lot of good artists, especially for people who like the vibes that we might like. I mean, there's plenty of artists to listen to. But even if you don't, even if you're more whatever style of hip hop, it's something out there for everybody. So no matter what you're looking for, I know people like, there's no good music now. Yeah, it is. You just have to look for it. There's so much music, you just have to look. Yeah, you do. But nobody wants to look. They want it to be on the radio. You want it to be on the radio, but you don't want radio music. Like, you gotta pick your struggle.
Sure.
Pick your struggle.
Do people still listen to the radio?
That's a great question. Do people still go to the mall?
No,
not really.
No,
not really.
No, they don't.
Things of the past.
My mall lives on my front porch when I go grab that thing from Amazon.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's really what it is.
That's my kids' mall as well. It's always on the porch.
We're gonna get into our Super Bowl predictions, but I want to get your thoughts on one more clip before I do that, because I think it's explains why your Eagles are in the Super Bowl. So love to get your opinion here.
It's funny, before we start taping, Arian was telling me about how the NFL is rigged and how every year he used to get a script. Day 1 of training camp that would get dropped off at his locker, and you would have to, it was like week 1 you'll do this, week 2 you're gonna have a hamstring injury, week 3 this.
You feel like that's pretty accurate?
Man, that is. Are you asking me? You're asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
That is the most trash statement. It's like every other week, somebody asks or somebody says when something doesn't go how they expect. They're like, it's rigged. Dog, you're telling me that you think that not even 22 players. There's 22 players at a time.
53 active roster players.
So you got 106 men plus the referees and the coaches all working in unison for one common goal Then you see a fantastic play, and you're like, "Oh, that was rigged." How's a fantastic play rigged? How? I don't. I hate those people, and I hate them even more when they still watch the games and are fully invested, and then they say that. Like, I'm like, come on, dog, come on now.
Like Purdy was okay with his elbow getting screwed up. He was like, all right, let's do that. Let's do that. No question about it, right? Like,
gotta get a paycheck. Gotta get a paycheck.
Yeah, I'm definitely down to do like Scott.
Do you think when you listen, I dabbled in some acting. Do you think when I went in to shoot and they said, this is your script, I said, I don't like this script because I'm a bad guy and I'm going to jail? No, I read the damn script and I went to jail. It's a script. First
of all, you were acting? You did some acting?
Yeah. You got a movie star.
I missed that memo.
It was on Netflix.
Yeah, you need to repost that.
It was a terrible pilot that didn't get picked up.
Really?
The only thing was me. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let me ask you this, Sauce. I know that.
Well, while we talk about, let me actually do that quick shout out then, because the person who told me I was good was my cousin. He said you were the only good. I had him watch the pilot, and he goes, "You were the only good part." He won an Emmy. He was a producer on what's that damn show? Schitt's Creek.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And he just produced. So go watch it. He's producing The Last of Us. So go watch that too. Shout out to my cousin. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
It's interesting you mentioned that too, Sauce, about the 90s being the only era, the late 80s and early 90s being the only era of artists still coming out. I mean, Nas is 50 years old and he's still dropping albums. Jay-Z, he's in his 50s and he's still dropping albums. We haven't heard from guys like Mike Jones, like he's gone from that era. Like we never heard Mike Jones again. Like we never heard Slim Thug. We never heard Paul Wall again. Like we never heard these dudes again. So I think the era of hip hop that was that era makes these guys all-time greats because not only is their music timeless, they dominated the charts and they still doing that.
And they're still here. Yeah, that's the thing. It's still here. I saw 2 different clips. And I'm sure it's because sometimes on podcasts, guys are looking for the quick pop and let me say something reckless and see if people respond. You had one guy say Jay-Z is trash. You had another guy on a different show say Nas is trash. I'm like, dog, it's not many rappers that have been around for 30 years that are trash. Like, you don't have to like them. You don't even have to like their music. Right. But to say they're trash, like that statement is trash.
Did you see my clip where the guy said hip hop isn't music because you can't get better at it? And there isn't ways to separate it and go off into different paths?
Who said that?
I don't know, some idiot who's saying hip hop isn't music. He goes, it's talking. It's got, tempo and rhyme, but it's not music. And he's like, because you can't get better at it. I'm like, what the?
What do you mean you can't get? You can get better at everything.
That's what people just say. I was expressing to his point. People just say stuff.
You are crazy
for nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So
Super Bowl picks?
Yeah, let's get into some Super Bowl picks. You can give us a little snippet of that 49ers Eagles game. I mean, do you think it would have gone differently if Purdy had stayed healthy or not? What were your takeaways from that?
Yeah, keep it all the way 100, Sauce. I know you already had I know you had y'all smashing.
I didn't have a smashing, y'all. I've said for at least probably 8 weeks that San Francisco was the best team in the NFC. But I did go into to last week's game saying that the Eagles could get at San Francisco. I thought in the passing game. I didn't say it too much, but the idea of a running quarterback as active as Hurts, along with Sanders or Scott or whoever you're seeing in the backfield, those defenders have to pause for a second. They got to pause for a second. So the running game, I mean, it did damage. That was a little more unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
But I did have us getting a W, but I thought we would be able to get at Purdy. I thought we would get at Purdy with 4, and he was going to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That Lenore Devontae Smith matchup, I had a lot of sleepless nights worrying about that because I'm thinking, he can't cover this dude one-on-one. He's going to destroy us. I don't know how we're going to stop those two. I'm not really sure with Jalen Hurts rolling out of the pocket. I liked how our defense was going to operate, But with Purdy out of the lineup, and now we can't throw the ball, and you guys know for a fact that not only can we not throw the ball, all we can do is run, and our fourth quarterback is out. We don't have a shot.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this, and I'm pretty sure you saw it, Sauce. If the tables was turned and Jalen Hurts went out, and then Gardner Minshew went out, and all y'all could do was run the football, and we basically went into Philadelphia and steamrolled y'all, you think I would be listening to any logic from anybody? I would be like, we're going to the bowl game. I don't care about that.
That's all that matters. Actually,
I wouldn't care about that.
I do edit your video, actually.
I wouldn't care about that. So I understand. I understand the logic. I understand it. Now, I'm an NFC guy. As you know, I'm an NFC guy. But this Chiefs team looks like this Chiefs team looks like offensively, they're going to give you guys all you looking for. And they got that one X factor, which is Patrick Mahomes, who can extend plays. Not only can he make plays, he can extend plays, which keeps your defense on the field longer than expected. Now, the question is can you do that? Can Jalen Hurts do that offensively?
Well, I mean, if we can run the ball on y'all, we can run the ball on anybody, right? That's my thing. If we can run the ball on the great San Francisco defense, seeing Kansas City's defense is slight work. Yeah. So run a little clock, make the game a little shorter, and we still are getting at Mahomes with 4. He might be elusive, but he's not running away from Reddick. He's not running away from Graham. He's not running away from that 4. That's going to be tough. Not to slight the man, of course. I mean, I think he's one of the best all time already. But who's out? Hardman's out. Who knows what Tony's going to do, if he'll be healthy or not. I like our chances. All
right, no doubt. Okay.
So you're running Eagles.
You're picking Eagles.
Yeah.
Oh, make it official.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's a bird game guy. Of course.
I will say this. Let me throw this out at you. The last time the Eagles were in the Super Bowl, I predicted 39-21, something like that, and the Eagles ended up putting up that 40 number. Let's go Eagles 30, Kansas City 24.
30 points. I'm not sure if 30 points will stick with Kansas City with that offense. I'm not sure. You might need more than 30.
Yeah, no, we're not. We won't.
You might need more than now 35-24. That's basically serving Kansas City.
So who you got, Jay?
I'm an NFC guy. I'm going with the Eagles.
Score?
I think that they served them. I think they served them 37-20. I think they served them. Yes.
What?
You had those memories of Tampa Bay. I
think they serve Kansas City. I think that Patrick Mahomes is going to be running for his life. I think that linebacker core that Philadelphia has, I think that they can do everything that they can to deal with Kelsey. And when I think about Kansas City's secondary, I think that they're going to have a time trying to deal with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith could possibly be the MVP of the Super Bowl.
I like this guy.
I think they serve Kansas City. I don't think they beat them. I think they serve them.
Haley?
I'm going to go the opposite route, which I never thought I'd say because the Chiefs handed it to us in the Super Bowl. But yeah, I'm going to go Chiefs. Who Patrick Mahomes is, despite his injury, that he's better than anybody else that's going to be on that field in his position, obviously. But I do like Jalen. I don't prefer the Eagles, but I do actually, out of all the Eagles teams for a while, this is my favorite one I've seen. So they've got it. I think it's going to be a closer game. I think Chiefs by maybe a field goal. I think it might come down to the end and be high pressure, but I think we're going to see kind of what we saw in the AFC championship game. It's going to be close, but the Chiefs are going to pull through at the end.
Right.
Fluent, who do you got?
First, I got this to say. No, I'm going to save it for our All-Star chat. All-Star selection sucks coming up in a minute.
Yeah.
So I'll save what I had to say because there's a football sucks too. But let me pause for a second and stick to the game. So here's what I know. I know that Patrick Mahomes has been a starter in the NFL for 5 seasons. This is year number 5. He's been to 5 AFC Championships games. This is his 3rd Super Bowl. He's 1-1. The guy that beat him is the greatest quarterback of all time in Tom Brady. And he was running for his life. My fear is that he's going to be running for his life again. I think it's going to be, everyone thinks high scoring. You think, you were saying 30 ain't going to be enough. I think it's actually going to be a lower scoring game than most. I got it like 24-22. Chiefs.
Really? Why lower score, Fluent?
I just feel like I feel like the Eagles are going to dominate the time of possession. And they're going to listen. The things that win games when it's close, when it's Super Bowl, is run the ball, stop the run. No one, I think, runs the ball better than the Eagles. So the Eagles are going to run the ball to try to keep it out of Patrick Mahomes' hands. He's got 4 wide receivers and himself that aren't 100%, and I include Kelsey when I say 4 receivers, that aren't healthy. So they're going to have to play a different style, and they're going to have to play a slower paced style. And so I think we're expecting, like, we hear Patrick Mahomes and we see, in the regular season, even Jalen Hurts airing it out, and we think it's going to be this big, wonderful show. I think Rihanna might be the most exciting thing of the game, because the actual game is going to be kind of a bit of a slugfest, especially when you have, what is it, 3-4 guys with double-digit sacks, right? Like, these quarterbacks are going to be, I think they're going to struggle to put up a lot of points, but I think the Chiefs, just the experience factor, have that edge. So in a close game, Jalen Hurts, hey, if he proves us wrong, great. That means he's taken that next step. But it's his first one, right? So me, until proven otherwise, I'm going to bet on who's been there before, but it's a field goal, I think, either way. But I'm gonna go with the Chiefs just because of the experience. Because the other thing too is just think about the legacy, right? That's important. If Patrick Mahomes goes to 3 Super Bowls in 5 years and loses 2 of them,
we're having a different conversation.
We're having a different conversation about it.
A way different conversation, no doubt about that.
If he goes to 3 and wins 2, and then it's, hey, the only one he lost to was Brady. Oh, okay, cool. Like, it's a different conversation. They almost let that one go. But we're gonna see something. A record will be broken this Sunday, and I said it yesterday on Gridiron. Just think about this: no quarterback who is known as a runner, like not just mobile, like a running quarterback. No running quarterback has ever won a Super Bowl. Here's the problem. Not the problem, but the other side. No top 5 paid quarterback has ever won a Super Bowl. Well, Mahomes is number 5. Yeah. Check the stats, baby. So Mahomes sits at number 5. Jalen Hurts is a running quarterback. One of those 2 things
has to come off.
Has to come off the board.
Yes, that's a fact.
So I'm going to go with the guy that's getting paid.
So it's like I don't want to hold you up too much longer. So I meant to ask you, how long you been down with the Eagles?
Well, it's a long story.
4 years.
2017 was my first season. Since Ron Jaworski, so Montgomery,
early 80s.
Oh wow! You said okay. Ron Jaworski. That's a long time.
Yeah, late 80s. I mean, early 80s. Early 80s.
Wow.
So that's
a long story. I wouldn't tell you, but it involves a shotgun and a whole lot of other stuff. And
fair enough.
I can dig it. I can definitely dig it. Yeah. That's how I got down with the 49ers, so I can definitely dig it. It's probably got something to do with your family.
I'm going to put this out to you, Source. I'm going to put this out. We're going to let you go, but I'm going to put this out to you. Since we can't play music here, we can play music on TikTok. So me and Chill do go live every Mondays at 9. Hailey keeps saying she's going to join us, but she's always too busy.
I'll come back.
Bring the 1 and 2 Source. We always got time for that.
We maybe do what we wanted to do here on the TikTok live.
We always got time for that. Bring the 1 and 2s. Bring the 1 and 2s. We always got time. We always got time for that. So,
so I'll reach out to you. We'll set up what Monday that's gonna be, man. I appreciate you.
Sounds good.
My man, yo, my man.
Thanks so much for coming by.
I appreciate you, Sauce. Thanks, brother.
Have a good one.
Be easy.
Have a good night.
That's
what's
my man,
next,
yo.
Hailey? When he first reached out to me, there's very few people this may be a bad thing. His TikTok is at Source of Course for those asking in the chat.
Check him out.
source, of course. I'll put it in if I can later, or Hailey, I don't know if you're able to go into the chat and do that. But I don't follow a lot of people on TikTok. Like when I got into TikTok, I didn't know. I just was putting out content just to see. And so like when you and I connected, Jay, I was like, oh, dude, who is this dude? And I started that's when I started actually, we connected, and then I started looking at your stuff, and I was like, oh shit. When he reached out to me the first time, I was like, who is? Because I think I might have commented because I saw something about hip hop, so I commented, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, cool. Let me check it out. And so I was like, cool. And he reached out to me, so I checked out stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, this is, so there's certain people where I was just like, oh, I dig this content, but I don't find you. It's like they find me and then I go watch. So anyways, his stuff is great. If you're into hip hop, even music, because he did like a whole thing about non-hip hop too, but anything musically, source, of course, go check him out.
Right.
What's next?
Oh, let's do All-Star. So I'm gonna read off the reserves. Does that sound good?
You're gonna read them
all
off?
right.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're getting a bunch of everybody in the chat's asking. So let's jump into some reserves.
Can I just first say the All-Star selection? This for you to clip. So let me read it. All-Star selection, NBA All-Star selection sucks. It's almost as bad as the NFL Pro Bowl putting Tyler Huntley and Derek Carr in the damn Pro Bowl. Cancel the game. If those two are Pro Bowlers, cancel the damn game. Sorry, go ahead.
Very well said.
Thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So the All-Star reserves were released. Shaq and Ernie and the guys read them off, which was hilarious. So shout out to them, love them. All right, this is what we got for the Eastern Conference. I'll name who was chosen, and then tell me if there sounds like there's somebody missing or doesn't belong. Chat, you guys enter as well. Starting off, we got Joel Embiid. Yes,
cool,
yes, as he should. Up next, we got Jaylen Brown.
Cool with that.
Then we got Bam Bam.
Ho, Hey, stop right there.
We'll get to the end. No, we'll get to the end.
Go ahead.
Okay. And then we have Julius Randle. Okay. And then we have from the Milwaukee Bucks, Jrue Holiday. I almost wore my Drew jersey. Then we got DeMar. Yeah, round of applause. And last but not least, Tyrese Halliburton.
Cool with that.
Whether
I'm on the fence. I ain't giving you a boo or a cheer.
We love Tyrese. All right, so Jay, who was there anybody in there that you're like, whoa?
I did not have Jrue Holiday as an All-Star. I was surprised that Jrue Holiday made the All-Star team because I thought James Harden was going to make the All-Star team. I mean, he's 22-10. Not only is he 20, I thought James Harden was going to make the All-Star team. He's 22-10. Not only is he 22-10, Philly was at the top of the Eastern Conference. Not the entire season, but James Harden has been playing that good. He's been playing like an All-Star. So for him to be doing what he was doing,
what's he averaging? Do you know?
22-10.
Oh,
yeah,
22-10.
I thought they were going to put Brunson in.
I was surprised.
That's what I thought, dude. He literally has 27 plus a night. I know I think he's averaging like 20. I don't even know, but yeah, he's been crazy.
I was surprised that Brunson didn't make it, but I thought that James Harden went before both of those dudes. I was surprised that he didn't make the squad. Let's see.
Well, especially being Harden too.
I thought Siakam was an All-Star. I was surprised that he didn't make the All-Star team. I knew Halliburton was going to make the All-Star team. I mean, not only is Indiana a playoff team, he leading the league in assists. So the fact that he led the league in assists, just that alone, on a really good team, that has not happened. Where an assist leader on a good team does not make the All-Star team. So I was surprised. I wasn't surprised that he didn't make it. James Harden, I had DeMar DeRozan. Those are the two guys that I'm thinking about off the top of my head that I was surprised that didn't make the All-Star that didn't make the All-Star team. I was surprised.
Don't you dare just like brush by Pascal Siakam.
I'm not brushing by him, Tone. I thought he was an All-Star.
Hold on. I'm gonna ask quiz. No. He said it, but he's just like Pascal Siakam. I'm surprised. No. Let's pause there for a minute.
Pause.
25, 8, and 6. 25, 8, and 6. Oh, Connor. Connor is so smart because I was waiting for you to stop talking so I can say it, and Connor threw it into a super chat. How many players in the history? Oh, I shouldn't show it to you. Wait. How many players in the history of the NBA averaging 25, 8, and 6 didn't make an All-Star game?
Zero.
Yeah.
Zero. If you 25,
Zero.
8, and if you
That's
25,
wrong.
8, and 6, you probably an all-star. Probably. Yes. you
25,
probably
8,
are.
and 6. Oh, you know what else he's doing? He's averaging them. He's got the most minutes played too in the NBA.
Now that might be
What-
to his detriment. That might be to his detriment, though, Tone, because he's playing that many minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe he should be producing more.
My mama used to say, "Stop your noise."
I'm
That's
just
ridiculous.
Wait, Fluent, what seed are the Raptors in the
It
East?
doesn't matter. They're
No, but what
Garbage.
are they? What are they though?
garbage.
They're-
Ace gonna
they're-
get trash.
Are they
Well,
last?
No. They're 10th. No, they're 12th. I think they're 12th. But hold on.
Okay.
They're
I know
they're
that
tied,
doesn't.
they're tied with wins with Chicago. So
Yeah,
to use
no, I
that
know
logic,
that
then
doesn't-
DeRozan should be out.
I was just
Right.
wondering.
Right.
I mean, yeah, that doesn't seem.
I think I had Trey on the All-Star team too. And now that
That was surprising to
I-
be a
I had-
starter
I had-
and then
I
just
had-
to go to
Mhm.
nothing.
I had Trey on the All-Star team too. And I think that he got ousted.
Mm.
I think because of the amount of games that he might have missed. And I think it had a lot to do with what's going on in Atlanta too.
Yeah, there's some beef.
I think it has a lot, even though it shouldn't be that. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Trey something crazy like 28, 9, and 5, something nuts like that.
Yeah.
So that's two guys, Tone. 25 plus 8 and 5. So that's two guys. So I had Siakam making an All-Star team. I had Trae Young making an All-Star team, and I had James Harden making an All-Star team. I was surprised that those three guys didn't make it.
What
And
am I missing something on Julius Randle?
Yeah. Have you watched the Knicks?
Yeah.
What are you
I'm not-
looking for? Go ahead, H. I'm sorry.
Well, I was gonna say if I were to pick a Nick, I would probably have taken Brunson because I think just him coming from Dallas and the shift that he has brought with him to this team, and obviously it's showing to be something. I mean, whether or not they're truly contenders, that's a whole nother discussion. But I think that shift that has happened since he's arrived in New York, it's so blatantly obvious. And what he's doing day in and day out, game winners, like Brunson has been insane. But Julius has been insane as well. He's just, I really like Julius Randle because he's so like, you look at him and you're like, you're an NBA player. Like he just doesn't look like, but he's been great. His rebounds have been consistent. His scoring has been consistent. So I don't know. What do you feel about it?
And
I
Jalen.
just feel when I look at Bam, when I look at Randall, when I look at heck, even DeRozan for to a lesser extent, I'm like, for an All-Star game, I'm taking Siakam over all three of those guys. All three of those guys.
Look, what about
Well, when I think
Zach,
about
instead of like DeMar? I love DeMar, but do you think that I don't know. I don't know what he's averaging right now, but I thought he was
when I think about Julius,
He also just one last thing. Siakam also leads his team in points, rebounds, and he's second in assists by like 0.2. Right, so he's also like clear.
I was surprised that I was
There's no
surprised.
debate. Like you're saying, just think about what you said. Well, if I'm picking a Nick, I don't know, it's Randall or Brunson. If I'm picking a Bull, I don't know if it's Zach LaVine or DeMar DeRozan. If I'm picking a Raptor, it's Pascal Siakam.
Yeah,
Pascal Siakam.
That's true. I agree with you.
If I'm picking someone from the Miami Heat, let's be honest. You're probably leaning. If it wasn't for injuries, you're leaning Jimmy Butler.
It would be buckets if he played more, but Buckets doesn't play nearly as much. And I told you, Tone, before the season started that Bam is a 20 and 10 guy. Well, that's what he's doing this year.
Yeah.
That not only is he 20 and 10, he looks like he's going to be an all-league defender again.
Mm-hmm.
So him being an all-league defender again, it's real difficult for me to keep him off the All-Star team. Now, the issue that I'm having with Brunson, like I said, as good as Drew Holiday has been playing, one of the better perimeter defenders in the game. I did watch Jalen Brunson put 44 on him. I did watch that. He did put 44 on Drew Holiday, which was surprising to me. And he cuts, for lack of a better term, Jalen Brunson has been cutting ass. Yes, he does. He cuts ass.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. So
100%.
I was surprised that he didn't make the All-Star team. If you're going off a specific Nick.
I agree.
Okay. Do you want to do the West? Because I got a huge. Just so you know, I have a much bigger beef with the All-Star
Yeah.
selection sucking. But let's continue with the reserves and then
let's do West real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the West, up first was John Morant, you know, Lauri Markkanen, Sabonis, Shea, Paul George, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Dame. Yeah. So, Jay.
Now,
tell
here's
me
the
about
thing,
that
H.
list.
Here's the thing, H. I actually had De'Aaron Fox making an All-Star team, but Dame has been playing so good that it's pretty difficult to keep him off the roster. I mean, we're talking about a dude. I think that over the last 10 games, he's averaging something like 35 a game. Like when he's in the lineup, he's been averaging over the last 10 games like 35 a game or some nonsense like that. But I thought De'Aaron Fox, with the fact that Sacramento was winning the way that they were winning, he was going to make the All-Star team. I thought the Sacramento had two guys. I thought Lauri Markkanen was an All-Star. I had said that before the season. I had said that in the middle of this. In the middle of all of this,
before the season.
No, I didn't say that before the season. I ain't
Nobody
say that's a lie. No, I did not.
Yeah, right.
That is not true. I did not say that before the season. I thought Anthony Davis was going to be a starter in the All-Star game, but I'm surprised that he didn't make the All-Star team. But when I think about what Jaren Jackson did for this Memphis crew, I can appreciate why he made the All-Star team. Considering where Memphis is right now, I can appreciate why he made the All-Star team, sure. But I had book making all.
Let me ask you. Can I ask you a question? Because there's people in the chat and you saying, you thought Fox would be an All-Star. They're saying he got robbed. But hold on. When you look at Shea, Dame, and Ja, who you taking out for Fox?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like that's
that's what I mean.
Right?
Like, is it a snub? Well, it's only a snub if there's someone who's in that shouldn't be in. Like I can say Siakam, I truly believe is a snub because he should be in over Julius Randle and DeMar DeRozan, and I'll tell you why in a minute. More so in a minute. But who is it? Dame? Just because?
It's Shea.
Well, here's the thing, though. Look,
hear me out. Hear me out. Because look at the Kings. Who thought that the Sacramento Kings were going to be third in the West at all, anytime soon? And yes, some of that has to do with DeMontis and the guys that have stepped up, obviously Mike Brown as well. But I think that both of them definitely deserve that. And Shea has been absolutely incredible too. Don't get me wrong, but where are they? And what are they going to be doing anytime soon? And he's still putting up his numbers day in and day out.
The All-Star game isn't about your team record.
Huh?
No, it isn't.
It's not about the team record.
No, it isn't, Tony.
No, it's not about your team record, but I think
you brought up team record.
But coaches are choosing these, right?
Yes.
So I think you have to take into account, wow, what they're going to look at that, I think, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong, no, H. But you also got to remember too, Tony. This is about consistency. So you got to remember where Dame was a month ago, where he was 2 months ago, where he was up and down. Right? Not only was he up and down, Fox was rolling, and not only was Fox rolling.
You would have said Dame out, Fox in. I think you can make that argument.
That's what that's what I had originally. I had Fox in as an All-Star when we picked our All-Star rosters like a couple of weeks ago. I had Fox in, and I don't think I had Dame on the roster, and I didn't have Dame on the roster simply because what Dame had done in terms of his roller coaster ride, where he had been in and out of the lineup, he hadn't been as consistent. Fox was rolling on the other hand, but I think that this late surge over the last maybe 3 weeks or so, where Dame has been playing and how he's been playing, it's been pretty difficult to keep him off. I understand.
But I don't think you can put two. I'm sorry, I don't think you can put two Kings.
Why not, Tony? Yes, you can. Absolutely, you can. You absolutely can.
No, we're not.
Yes, you can. You know why you could do that? Because you just put 2 Milwaukee Bucks on there. You could do that. You said you absolutely can put 2.
I don't agree with that either. I don't think Shrew should be in there either.
Okay, Fluent, tell us your beef. What's going on?
My overall beef. My overall beef is this: the All-Star selection sucks. The All-Star, everything they've done is horrible. And I don't know who's running this travesty of a league, but they need to get their together, because what is the All-Star game? The All-Star game is a fan event. Okay? That's one. It's a fan event.
Supposed to be the best pickup game in the world. That's what it's supposed to be.
Two. Does the East play the West?
Not anymore, unfortunately.
No.
So why are we voting East-West? The answer is there's no damn reason for it, is the answer. 2, if we're not caring about positions anymore, then don't care about positions. Just don't. Just say,
But you
hey,
say that. That's not like across the board. thing.
it's not.
No.
The general consensus isn't. This is positionless basketball. Is that
I
not
care
the-
about
No,
that though.
you
I
say
care.
that.
Yeah, you
I
do say that.
value
Tone.
I don't
positions.
say
I
that.
care about the.
You
I care about
do.
the point guard. Yes,
I
you
don't
do.
say that.
You do, Fluent. We're
No,
not
no.
doing this.
I don't
today.
say. I don't say it's positionless. Absolutely not. I don't say it's positionless.
Well, so if that's
Oh,
true, Tone, then
well,
that means that it. So if that's true, Tone, that means that it's not consensus. Because I don't say that
But you-
neither.
And you say that people don't not you
The
necessarily.
fans, no, I'm saying the
say
fans that are
they don't
voting
play
don't
according
care.
to
They don't
position.
care. And you've got guys who are playing, right? Like you have guys that are playing multiple positions. They're playing forwards. They're playing guards. There's point forwards now. There's post up guards. It's very
Yeah.
different. So
Yeah.
let me tell you why I have the issue. Here's why I have the issue. In the East,
Mm-hmm.
Giannis, Durant. Oh no, not sorry. Excuse me. My apologies. In the NBA.
So not just the East,
Not
the,
just
the whole
East.
league.
Sorry, in total. Okay, I'm okay
entire
with
league.
forward guards, by the way, just for the record. But anyways, here are your top vote getters for a fan event at forward. Giannis won. Sorry, LeBron won. My apologies. LeBron won. Giannis 2.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Durant 3. I just want to make sure because they have it split out east-west. Kevin Durant 3.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Tatum 4. Joel Embiid 5. Nikola Jokic 6. So if I'm in the top 6 of forwards and there's no damn east-west, I should be starting. So if I'm Joel Embiid, I should be because don't forget, some of them get paid extra money to be starters in the All-Star in their contracts. He should be starting in the All-Star game because the fans want him to start. He's in the top 6 of forwards. There's 3 from the East, 3 from the West, which I think should be abolished because, again, we're not playing East-West. We're saying here's 6 forwards for the starters. We're saying here's 6 forwards. Here's 4 guards. And make your picks. Cool. Then do it that way. Don't separate it by East and West and have a guy like Embiid who should be starting, who's been second in MVP voting 2 years in a row. He's second right now in the MVP power rankings. Why is he not starting? That's a travesty. Then you got Pascal Siakam, who is 6th among Eastern forwards. He's not in the damn All-Star game. Julius Randle is 9th. The fans don't want to see him. The fans don't want to see him.
The fans want to see Siakam.
Fans don't want to see him.
Yeah, I don't know.
The fans want to see
how we got
Siakam.
there.
Yes, they do.
They want to see Siakam, so put him
Yes,
in.
they do. The fans want to see Siakam. Yes, they do. That's not an
So
opinion. That's a fact.
so my issue is you're trying to keep this old school East-West thing, but there's nothing tied to the All-Star game that's East-West other than the voting, which just means it's outdated. I'm supposed to be the old head. I'm supposed to be the one that's hanging on to tradition, but I'm not. I'm telling you, if you don't do it East-West, then don't do it East-West. Just
Well, wait a
vote.
minute, Tone.
Aren't captains East-West?
Not only captains are East-West, but the 5 starters are East-West.
Yeah.
So
No.
it is East-West. Yes.
They're not.
Tone. They vote the starters.
Wait, no, right.
No, they don't.
Captain's pick. So,
The
so like,
captain's
No,
pick.
captain's
Wait.
pick. No, we'll stop right there. Captain's pick from the rest of the crew. So Luka,
No.
yes.
Wait,
Luka,
No, they pick from the starters, then they pick from the
Once
reserves.
once again, the captains. So LeBron James and Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
They are. This is their 5. This is Giannis's 5. Giannis's 5 is Irv, Mitchell, Tatum, him, and KD. That's his
yeah,
starting
you're right,
5.
you're right.
He's gonna pick the rest of the
That
crew.
new, did I miss something?
No, that's
then?
always been that. That's always been that.
Then they shouldn't do that.
That's always been that. So
then
the
they only
East got
pick
their
the reserves?
starters.
I don't know
Right.
if that's true.
The East
Somebody's
got
saying-
their.
Because I think they can pick
They
anybody.
can pick. They can pick anyone.
The East
I don't
have their start. The East have their starters, and the West have their starters. And then Giannis and Giannis and James get to pick the rest of the guys. We already have the starters. It's not
Yeah.
like, okay, these dudes. Jason Tatum isn't 4th in voting, so he just made the All-Star team. No, I'm a starter. That's why the starters came out a week ago. That's the way that works.
Uno momento, por favor. Last year, Team Durant, who's in the East. This is why you are incorrect, sir. Team Durant, who was in the East for Brooklyn, on his team had Joel Embiid, East. John Morant, West. Jason Tatum, East. Andrew Wiggins, West.
Okay.
Trae Young, East.
Right.
So the starters aren't separated by East-West.
Whoa. Those guys that you just talked about, those guys were reserves.
No. The reserves for Team Durant were LaMelo Ball, Devin Booker, Rudy Gobert, Zach LaVine, Chris Middleton, Joante Murray, Karl Anthony Towns, and Draymond Green. For Team LeBron, who was West, his starters were LeBron, Giannis East, Steph West, DeMar East himself, Jokic West. Mix up between East and West.
So let me make sure I'm understanding this correct.
So
The five starters that are picked, once the captains, you got to pick these guys in order to start. So what I mean is, Tone, you and me are the captains. But
yes.
Take KD off.
Whoever we want.
So take KD off. Take not take KD off. Take James off and take Giannis off. You and me are both Giannis and James. But the starters are Tatum, KD, me, Mitchell, and Irv. You get to pick from those four. And then I get to pick from the four starters in the West. Is that what I'm understanding? So we don't have to start.
No.
I don't understand why they starters. Why are we starters then? That doesn't make sense to me at all.
So let's say you and I were picking. You and I are captains. And actually, I think they should do this, by the way. They should take
goofy.
I
don't understand.
And every year changes.
This doesn't make sense to me at all. Why are we voting for starters if these guys aren't starting?
You just proved my point. So
I don't
I'm going to get
understand
to that. So if you I believe this should be true. They shouldn't have the top vote getters as captains. They should have two coaches, two players. Have a contest and have two players. Have Fluent and Chill as the captains, and we pick. So you and I have a pool this year of I'm going to put everybody in there for now, okay? Just to make it easier. So you and I are going to pick our starting units. We have Giannis, Durant, Tatum, Mitchell, Irvin, James, Jokic, Williamson, Curry, and Doncic. We each pick 5 people. We can each pick 5 people to be our starters. Now, in this case, one of them is themselves, but I'm just taking it to make it simple. So we pick
because
from
these
that
are the
pool.
top.
Yeah, so we pick from that pool to be our 5 starters for our team. So for Team Fluent and for Team Chill. Then we have a pool of George, Shea, Jackson, Lillard, Markkanen, Morant, Sabonis.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Bam, Brown, DeRozan, Embiid, Halliburton, Holiday, Randall to pick as our reserves.
And these guys have to start, though. Those guys have to start.
The first 5 are the starters that we select, and then we pick our reserves, but we pick them. So it has nothing to do with East-West.
So this year just happened to be West-East.
There wasn't. It was a complete mix.
This is goofy.
Wait, not this season.
This season we haven't had the draft yet. We haven't had our picks yet. Oh,
so they didn't even announce what the
teams. They just announced the reserves. That's it. Giannis and James haven't picked the guys.
Why did they show the 2 teams then?
At the All-Star game.
So those are just like West and East.
At the All-Star game, Giannis is going to stand there, and he's going to and LeBron's going to stand there, and they're going to have 8 guys who were voted starters with themselves, and they're going to of those 8 guys, they're going to pick a team of starters. Then they're going to pick a team of reserves and go off on their way.
Basically, what we're doing, is we at the park. Okay, Tone, I'll take this dude. Jay, I'm going to take this dude. Tone, I'm going to take him. Okay, Jay, I'm going to take this dude. That's what we're doing.
Yes, and what I believe they should do, because maybe I don't know, what do they call it? I'm not an old head. I'm a new gen. I don't know what you want to call it. Is what I think they should do is say, look, if it's a fan vote, let the fans do it. Now, if they want coaches' input, fine. Let the coaches vote and let the fans vote and do 50-50, whatever. And they'll say, hey, we've got the votes. Here's the 20 people that were voted all-stars. Cool. The 2 top vote getters are A and B. You guys are going to pick your teams and go play. Because that's really that way you're actually getting that way. What's that?
Isn't that what they're doing, Tom?
No, they're not. They're definitely not doing it that way.
Okay, let's move on.
This is like algebra 2 in calculus. That's what this is right now.
I think it's way too late.
I got an A+ in calculus. So I'm
trying to make
Thank
sense
you,
of
Fluent.
why we got
You did explain
starters
it.
and why we got reserves. I'm like, wait a
no
minute, what the hell
reason.
are we
No
doing?
reason. There's
I
no
feel like
reason
it's
why.
very clear cut, and we're just missing it right now. But
No,
let's
it's very it's really simple, and they're making
Yeah.
it confusing because they're trying to hold on
Yeah.
to this old East-West thing that they have. That there's no reason to do it. Get rid of
Yeah.
it. Get out.
Either
Because you know
have
what
it or
You know what
don't.
they're afraid of? I'll tell you what they're afraid of. They're afraid that one conference at some year is just going to have way more talent than the other, and we might have 18 all-stars from the West and 2 from the East, and TV ratings will stink. We know that the chances of that happening are so slim. Like if I look at the voting, it's
Yeah,
actually
balance.
pretty even
Mhm.
from East to West. So just in terms of total numbers. So I think it's dumb. They're overcomplicating it. Just vote in the top 20 guys. Let the 2
Mhm.
top vote getters. If I actually want, like I said, I want other people to pick. I think it would be great if they brought in like celebrity coaches or whatever, and those guys pick their team, or bring in old retired players and let that, like, who's the host city this year? It's Utah.
Yes, Salt
Yeah.
Lake City.
Okay, it can't be Karl Malone, but like John Stockton gets a team, and like Mark Eaton gets a team. I don't know, like whoever, like just someone that's famous in Utah. I don't know the what were those singers? The brother and sister,
The Osmonds.
Osmonds. They have
Oh my god.
That
No,
could get
no,
dangerous.
no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh,
But that's what I'm
God.
saying. Is they've made it dumb, and it drives me nuts because again, there's things in contracts. Embiid should be a starter.
Yeah.
And the snubs would get I think fixed, because even the people who say, hey, this person, that person got snubbed, it's really hard to say they got snubbed when, well, sorry, they got 10 million votes and your guy got 2. So sorry, this is a fan event.
Yeah.
And the fans don't want to see this dude. No, they
They
don't.
don't want to see that. Yeah, they don't want to see it.
They do not want to see that dude.
Like Julius Randle got like 400,000 votes. Nobody wants to see that dude in an All-Star game.
No, they don't. But
Yeah.
he plays in New York, so
I
it
might
works.
be exaggerating. He probably got more. But just think about that. If I may, just one last thing. I promise. Jalen, what's his name? Julius Randle?
Yes.
Julius Randle is in, is it the largest city? Is New York the largest city, or is LA the largest city?
Probably LA.
Okay, so it's the second largest
I
city.
don't know.
Okay.
Los Angeles is second. New York is number
Okay,
one.
New York is 1. Okay, so New York. Julius Randle plays in the number 1 city population. Okay, in North America. Well, not North America, because that's Mexico City.
In America.
He's the
Correct.
number 1, and he got 300,000 votes. Bro, that's the people that live in his neighborhood. Like
Yeah.
no one wants to see this dude.
Is he born and bred in New York as
No,
well?
I don't know.
Because that could make it.
He's from Dallas, actually.
Yeah. But no, but again, 300,000 votes is like, I don't want to see you. I'm sorry. I just don't.
All right, let's move on to some super chats, and then we'll get a couple of y'all on, and then we'll get into some more topics.
Yeah. Anyways, All-Star voting sucks. All-Star selection sucks.
I agree. Also, my Dubs are down 1 at halftime.
That's okay.
Against the number 1 seed in the West.
And if you had any doubt
just saying.
that they should abolish the Pro Bowl, Tyler Huntley's in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
He threw 2 touchdowns this season, just so you know. That's 2 more than you and I, Jay.
I'm not tripping on that. Troy Aikman
That's
made the Pro Bowl. He threw 11 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, and he made the Pro Bowl. What are we talking about?
So that's also wrong.
I just think they need to have. I don't have a problem with the Pro Bowl. I just think that they need to. I think there needs to be some more significance to it. It's become insignificant. I think that's why.
I don't even watch it anymore.
Yeah,
I'll turn it on.
Well, it's a flag football game this year, so it'll be more fun. It'll be fun to watch. You know what? Let me ask you a quick question. I know we have something else to talk about, but someone said maybe just have like a third place game. So have the Bengals play San Francisco, and like the winner gets
like the World Cup.
Oh yeah.
But no,
like a consolation.
That's
game?
what the World Cup does. There's always the 2 winners and the 2 losers, and nobody cares. They're just waiting for the next game.
You think the 49ers want to play the Cincinnati Bengals in the third place game?
We give you an extra. We give you an extra. We give you an extra.
Put an extra 500,000 on it.
We give you an extra draft pick.
No, I'm not doing that.
Did Hailey do the bet?
Oh, I forgot. Dub, I got you next week. I've been so busy, but yeah. So basically, I have to wear an Eagles jersey. We made a bet on.
Oh, you made a bet and you lost. So.
I didn't expect for but I got you, Dub. My bad.
Do you need one?
I don't have an Eagles jersey, so actually, I forget what he said. Maybe it's not that. Who is that? Oh, of course.
Do you need it? Fly, Eagles, fly. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Are you going to tell me that I was right about my pick last week?
What was the bet, Dub? I forgot what the bet was. Maybe
I'm pretty sure you had to wear an Eagles jersey for a whole episode.
No, it wasn't that.
But
yeah, we'll do the next super chat.
All right. Oh, we're doing super chats? I'm sorry. Okay. Super chats. Here we go. Bam.
Okay. Angel, chill. How do you feel about Sean Payton and Russell Wilson's season going next year? Good question.
I think Russell Wilson. I think we're going to see a completely different Russell Wilson than we saw this season that just passed. I don't think Russell Wilson is over like everybody said he was. I think that offense that he was in was garbage. I think that Sean Payton's going to have him in a completely different system, and I think we're going to see a completely different Russell Wilson.
Let's go. I like it.
Apparently, Dub says the bet was you have to say him and Mars, I can't believe you made this bet, are the best duo on PC. Is that correct? You made that bet?
I don't remember. I think I did, but I truly was
better
like,
than
Niners
what
are
Fluent and Chill
definitely
can hope to be. If you made that bet, that's a crazy bet.
My thing for him was he had to wear a Curry jersey a whole episode and say that KD never needed, or Steph never needed KD.
Was there any alcohol? Was there any alcohol involved in that when you made that bet?
Like, why would you make that bet and like get kicked off the show? That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't get it.
So what did you say? Did you answer this question already?
I'm loving it. I'm absolutely digging it. No doubt.
Jeremiah Smith, chill. They snubbed AD. He's good for 27 and 12 with the league defense. They played Jared Jackson Jr. over him. AD played 26 games to Zion's 29, and Zion starting.
I had AD starting in the All-Star game.
Yeah,
I did.
But time missed. I think he's missed 24 games, right? 26, 24, 26.
You can't compare it to a starter though, because a starter was voted in by the fans. The reserves were picked by coaches, so the coaches didn't pick AD. Because he hasn't played enough.
Who went off last night? Who went off tonight, by the way?
And let's be honest, AD might still play because they're going to need a replacement for Williamson because he still is out, right? So he's probably not.
The All-Star game ain't until February the 19th. If this dude ain't ready by February the 19th, he's been out a month, Tone. He's already been out a month.
Bust.
Okay. They're not going to let him play, though, right?
He's a bust.
He's not playing in that game.
It's a bust.
Yeah.
Bust.
This is nuts. And AD went off tonight too, by the way.
Of course he did. He always goes off.
Good. Andrew G, thank you for the super chat. Since Tatum is a consensus top 10 player, it's weird because I don't know what he's truly great at. Top 10 players usually have something great, and
Andrew G he's a Boston Celtic fan, and he's very critical of Jason Tatum, which bugs me out because you got a guy on your team who is young, barely. I don't think he's 25 yet, and he's still going through growing pains of becoming a great player and catapulting your team into a top seed in the Eastern Conference. But you looking at this dude like, I don't know what he's great at. Meanwhile, your team is a championship contender. Instead of getting behind this dude and encouraging him, it's like, I'm good. So when he ends up not playing there anymore and he's playing with somebody else, you're going to remember him.
I agree with you, Andrew. I mean, I think Tatum's incredible, but I think half the reason why is because
don't lie to the people.
I think he's a top 10 player. Do I think he's top 5?
On national TV.
I promise.
You're lying on national TV.
I promise. I think he's top 10 right now, but I don't think he's top 5. And I think that his team has helped them incredibly. I think that he's terrible in the final few minutes. I think Jaylen Brown deserves just as much credit as Jason Tatum, but that's just me. I don't watch every Celtics game. I'm definitely biased, so I doesn't matter what I think. Doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
Frank Yila, thank you for your super chat. Chiefs for 17-14 Chiefs. So kind of
that's not crazy. Yeah. That's not crazy.
Jaden, chill. How much I got to donate for a hot 16?
I don't have any bars, fam. If I had bars, I would spit something fire for you, but I ain't got no bars. I don't, fam.
You know, have you ever? I don't know. Maybe I'm telling you guys way too much information. Have you ever like thought you did and recorded it and then play it back and you're like, oh, that's
No,
awful.
no, I'm
I
not.
have self-awareness.
There it is. That's it right there. H.
I thought I had something like I thought of something in the shower and I'm like, oh, that's fire. So I like recorded it just to see.
And then you heard it.
And I waited and I said, let me let it marinate for a week and then I'll go back and listen to it.
Well, are you an extrovert by nature? Because I have friends like that. I'm not.
So I play it back and I'm like, oh, that stinks.
Do not let anybody hear that. Don't let anybody hear that. This is garbage.
Now, don't get me wrong. We used to, when we were on the bus going to school, we would like someone would have a beat. And we would just we would freestyle and like I would cheat. Like I would have something ready so that I knew, and I was like I knew who I was picking on. So I'd like, and they'd be like, "What? I didn't just come up with it. Get out of here."
Don't
all right.
give away your secrets. Don't.
It's 40 years ago. Who cares? Let's see what's next. There we go.
Hold on, before you go any further, Tone, let me address this Andrew G dude. Andrew, just so you know, when you're improving, you're not great at anything. You're becoming great at it. So, for example, Jason Tatum is a great transition player, right? I think Jason Tatum is a great athlete. He's becoming a great three-point shooter. He's becoming a great mid-range defense. He's becoming a great mid-range scorer. He's becoming a great defender. So he's not great at anything, but he's becoming that. That's what happens when you're in the maturation process. But you can't see that because you stuck on what he did in the NBA Finals. Because I'm 100% confident that if y'all won the NBA Finals last year and he was the Finals MVP, you'd be praising this dude. I'm sure you would be.
There's two ways.
My question.
I'd say there's two ways to greatness. I'll just say there's two ways to greatness. You can be Steph Curry, KD, who are great scorers, great shooters, and you become great even though the rest of your game might not be great. Or you can be really good, even not great at everything, and be a great player, right? Like I'm going to use him as an example. So I'm a hater and pick him. But LeBron James isn't.
I was going to say that.
Yeah,
I was going to say James.
He's not great at anything, but he does everything really, really, really good.
Yes,
right?
He does.
So you're never going to say he's the best shooter. He's the best this. He's that. You're not going to say that. But
no, you're not.
Right? In terms of skill wise, sure, greatest peak longevity. But in terms of skill wise, you never say he's the best at anything. But he's so good at everything, it makes him great. So I think Tatum is along those lines where we're never going to applaud his shooting, his three-point shooting, his whatever, his passing, his defense. But he's so good at everything that it makes him a great player. He is a great player.
That's a good comparison, actually, because he is. But I think what you say a lot, Chill, is you see their ceiling at 5 years, around 5-6 years, right? This is his 6th season in the NBA. And he started young and he has improved steadily every season. And as much as I don't like him necessarily as a player, he got his team to the finals, that team. And then this season, they're still the number 1 seed, despite everything they're going through with the coaching staff and all that. So the thing I was thinking about is like his leadership. I think he reminds me a little bit of, I don't really know who to compare him to, but he is a little bit of more quiet leader, but I like him because he does have humility, and that's really rare these days in the NBA. Like, he's a really humble, from what you can see, he's still confident and he still got it, but he is humble. So so we'll see what happens, but he's got to continue to get better and better. And he has a great team, so that helps. And
he will, because he's gotten better every year. That's the difference, though. It's not like it's a situation where he's just leveling off. Every year he's gotten better. Every year. That's why I talk about him the way I talk about him. So I'm trying to make sense of this right here, and it's not making sense at all.
This is more for Jay.
That's crazy if he's a Celtics fan to be like that. Support your guy.
This is more for Jay than you, Hailey, because I doubt that you'll know this. But hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. When you see this, our new member here, Shooms. Is it just me? I just want to be like, Lash move. I ain't got nothing to prove. I told you Hailey would not get that one, but that's exactly what popped into my head.
You said they picked prior to today for All-Star, just so we know.
No, they don't. They did in the past. This year they're not. They're picking day of. They changed it again. Guys. They changed it.
Okay, Stunt T. Harden isn't an All-Star player. He's 21 a game, is super inefficient, filled with a bunch of free throws, goes missing, way too often to be an All-Star. Wow. But yeah, I mean, free throws have always been a part of his game, so I don't know. I don't know
And
how I
he's
feel
been
about
making
that.
it, and he's made
I mean-
the All-Star team plenty of years, averaging 10 free throws a game.
Yeah.
So I mean, what are we
Yeah,
talking
this year's
about?
no different.
Right.
Year's no
So
different.
I don't know how much sense that makes.
CM said that Julius Randle hate is crazy. I agree, but no one wants to really see him
Don't
play.
you
We have
dare
to be
read
honest.
don't you dare read non-super chats.
I'm sorry, that one. Okay, Z-Dub, I'm taking off Dame, put Fox in there. Respect that man's consistency. The last few weeks don't validate Dame as an all-star. Stop it, Fluent.
All right, Z-Dub, I'll stop it. You're right. If you remember what I said was, if you said Dame, I'm okay with you putting Fox in over Dame. I said I'm not okay with you putting in Fox over Shea, just so we're clear.
Yeah.
All right, next.
Rich Gang, chill, you wrong. Sorry, sir.
That's
And
what
I
we
think
were-
that had to
yeah,
do.
that was-
Yeah,
yeah,
we were just figuring
talking
things
about-
out.
Right.
Not everybody has
Get
the
ourselves
all those details like I do.
Right.
King Cap, how did DeMar DeRozan make the All-Star team?
I think he was listed as a forward this year instead of a
Small forward this
guard,
year, small forward this year.
and I think that might have had something to do with it. But he was playing really good though. He's still as good as bad as Chicago is. He still has been playing really good. Still playing really one of the better scorers in the game at his age. Still one of the better mid-range shooters. Still one of the better players in the game. So,
But if I may, I don't want to watch. No offense, I love DeMar DeRozan. I don't want to watch him knock down a bunch of middies at an All-Star game. I don't.
But here's the thing, though, Tom. What you can't do, even though you don't want to watch him knock down a bunch of mid-range jump shots, that doesn't mean that I'm not playing at an all-star level because you don't like my game.
If I want to see a bunch of old dudes knock down middies, I go to my men's league every Friday, and that's all we do. Like, I don't need to see him do it in an all-star game.
But I still do play wide open. I still play wide open. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I think like out of a lot of to be honest, Sabonis doesn't really have that like star flair that you want. He's more of that guy that's gonna get those rebounds and he's gonna score when you need him to. But like, I don't know. This All-Star is gonna be interesting. I think there's not a ton of like actual stars. Like Jokic, he's arguably the MVP, but he's not that much fun to watch. And
Who?
I don't know, Jokic.
Oh, the stat patter.
Oh my god! Speaking of, I have to check the score.
Right? Isn't he a stat? Well, wait, because y'all said Russell Westbrook was a stat patter when he averaged a triple double. So by definition, now that he's averaging a triple double,
I didn't say that.
I said now he's officially a stat patter. No,
I think
for all those people who said that about Russ, just keep it consistent. Just keep it consistent.
Fair enough.
Do we have another one? Is this the same one? Oh yeah, DeFrozen. Okay. Oh, I didn't even notice it said DeFrozen. That's nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right, Vamp. Fluent, you should watch JJ Redick's recent video about why the All-Star game is flawed. You would agree with it a lot of his ideas, and the stats are interesting.
Interesting. I rarely agree with JJ Redick, who would be put in a blender by Bob Cousy.
Yeah, he was wild for saying he was wild for saying.
I'll check that out. No, I will check that out. I don't.
He was wild. He was definitely wild for that. Saying them dudes was plumbers. He was wild for that. Super wild.
Anything to get views and likes, I guess.
Adam Jones, y'all are just chatting. The way that the All-Star selection process occurs is fine, but they just need to eliminate conferences and positions.
That's what I just said.
Yeah,
we're just chatting, but they should do what you said.
Listen, but...
Well, thanks, Adam Jones. Next time, let's get Mike Jones. Mike Jones. Yeah, thanks for that. Mike Jones.
Z-Dub again. Thank you.
Why does Z-Dub get a different color? Is it the amount of the super chat? Is it the level of member?
$10, I think.
Oh,
I think
okay.
$10 or more you get.
I always wondered about that
because Aramis is always like red.
Red. Oh, okay. Yeah, fair.
He's a GOAT super chatter. Okay, many players have bonuses in their contracts where they can earn more money if they make an All-Star game. It's a tragedy that Fox didn't get in. Fox is greater than Shea or Dame. I
think that Fox was more consistent. That's why I had him as an all-star, and I didn't have Dame as an all-star, even though Dame came on the last month or so of the season. Yeah. I just thought that Fox, he was more consistent. Not only was he more consistent, he was just playing better. There's a difference. I've said this in the past, and I still stand on it. There's a difference between being a better player and playing better, and he was playing better than the majority of those guys. And I thought that he would be an all-star. I was surprised that he wasn't.
I'm now. I agree. I'm now with you guys. Put Fox in, take Dame out. All right, I'm in.
Yeah.
You got
Which
me.
makes me sad, but yeah. Double P. Who do y'all think is the best hip hop producer of all time? By the way, any answer other than Pete Rock is wrong. Also, if different from the best, who's your favorite producer?
Okay, so let's start the conversation because I get riled up listening to this stuff. Double P, just so you know, Pete Rock was not better than Primo. He was not better than Dr. Dre, and he was not better than DJ Quick. So let's dead that logic right there. Let's kill it. But my favorite producer of all time is Primo. Primo had the best beats, and every beat that he had, the rapper killed it. Nobody introduced an MC on the 1 and 2s like Primo did. Nobody did. He's my favorite producer of all time.
I'm gonna go. It depends on the year, because I really did like Pete Rock, and I mentioned one of the songs was a
Doug Pete Rock. Love Pete Rock.
Smooth joint. I love Jay Dilla. Love Jay Dilla.
Jay Dilla was dope.
There was a time in my life where I feel like every song I was listening to, and I love Dre. I got mad respect for all of them. But there was a time when I feel like everything I was listening to was produced by Pharrell. Everything.
That was definitely going on.
I feel like he's my favorite just because, you know, it's like when people ask me my favorite album and I say, well, it's Tribe, it's Low End Theory, because like I listened to the whole thing. I'm never disappointed. Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, when Pharrell was like dropping, like, remember, like Clips, Nerd, like it was just like there's just one thing after the other. It was just like, dude, I'm just and let's give shout out to Timbaland as well. But yeah, so I go Pharrell if there's a favorite.
Yes.
All right. Any more? One more?
Yeah, we got.
Melo Williams, Shay definitely deserves an all-star spot over Fox. Cool.
Yes.
We agree.
Midnight Marauders too. Yeah. Midnight Marauders, man, I love some Tribe. I'll listen to some Tribe once we get over here. I'm gonna put in some Tribe.
Adam Jones again. They would pick Fox to replace first, in my opinion.
Well, who's gonna? Here's the question though: who's gonna
forward? Are they gonna put in on the guard though?
Well, not only that, but who is going to get replaced? Because if you look at
Williamson and probably Durant probably won't be there, so they'll need one.
KD said he playing in the All-Star game. KD said,
did he really? Oh, okay.
KD said he's playing in the All-Star game. That's first of all. Number two, with Williamson, I mean, are you taking Williamson off and putting Fox on? I mean, I'm not sure about that.
Forward that they would put it, maybe
right.
AD. Does AD?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I think
that's what I was thinking.
That's gonna be tough.
He's the backup to the backup.
He'll probably play a quarter and then get hurt.
Yeah.
Imagine
that getting back and then getting hurt in the All-Star game. He would.
He didn't.
Just before we do this last super chat, they had a thing tonight. I was joking with my son. I was like, if the NBA was scripted, LeBron goes for 101 tonight and breaks Kareem's record and Phil's record in one shot.
Shut the NBA down.
Shut it down, right? And so Mrs. Fluent says, "Hey, there's whatever. I don't know what betting site. Pay me, and I'll tell you." I mean, to them, not you guys. Then if you want to sponsor me, and then I'll tell you which one she was on. So she's trying to say, "Hey, there's this $20 bet. If LeBron scores more than 60, we win like $1,300." I'm like, $20, throw it out there. You never know. And he starts off 0 for like 3, and I'm like, he's got like 7 points at the half. I'm like, forget that, $20.
Since we're on the subject of it being scripted, Tone, I think we're going to get to this after we get to the super chats about when James is going to break the record. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
Well, yeah. So we have two choices. We'll be 2 hours at 8. So we want to go into one more topic, or do we want to
we're going to show the clip? No.
Okay.
About our interview.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll hold off on having people until next week. Does that sound good?
We got time. Well, we in a rush to go somewhere?
No.
We got a little bit of time. So show it, Tone. What you got?
All right. Well, first the super chat, and then we'll show the clip.
Okay, Double P. Which of these older athletes' games would translate better to today's games if they played Dan Marino or Pistol Pete?
Oh,
Dan Marino would be awesome today. Holy, you know what? Oh my God, the way they slinging it today. I mean, H, you got to remember
Marino
that.
might throw for 6,000 yards.
That's what I'm talking about. H, you got to remember that back during that time when Dan Marino was playing, we talking about a time where 3,500 yards was slinging it. So if Dan Marino was playing with Cheetah,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
oh my God.
Can you imagine Dan Marino on this Miami Dolphins team?
Oh my
wouldn't that be
God.
dope?
How much speed with Waddle,
What?
Hill,
Cheetah and
and
Gesicki?
like with
Oh
all
my
that
God.
speed,
That would be crazy.
1,000 yards and 17 games.
Oh my
17,
God.
6,000 yards isn't crazy.
It would be nuts. No doubt.
All right, so guys, earlier today, Chill and I got to sit down with the play-by-play analyst of the Toronto Raptors, Jack Armstrong, celebrating 25 years with the Raptors, which is crazy. And so we're gonna post that. You can go onto Players Choice YouTube and see the full video, the full interview. Excuse me, it's like 30 minutes long. It's on there. It'll either be on there tonight or first thing tomorrow morning. But he said something interesting during our chat that Chill picked out. I'll give you the credit since you picked it up. And so I want to show the clip and then
We both talked about it.
we can talk about it. Here's the clip.
What point, Jack, did you feel like during that 18-19 season when you had Leonard, we can win this thing? We have a real opportunity to win it.
You know, it's interesting. I felt it that year.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt it actually the year before. And it just unfortunately didn't come together. They couldn't get by LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
There was I felt it the year after. Actually, when Kawhi left the following year, I felt they were good enough before the pandemic hit. And I'm sitting in Utah today, and I'll never forget March 9th, 2020. The last game the Raptors played was against the Jazz. And I interviewed Serge Ibaka on the court after the game, and the Raptors played out of their minds. And I got on the plane that night, and I'm like, these guys could win it again. Even though we don't have Kawhi and Danny Green, this group can win it again. That's how
Tone and I, yeah.
We've talked about that.
So there was like a 3-year window. I'm convinced. I'm convinced that if Kawhi Leonard stays, the Raptors are in the NBA Finals the following year.
At minimum.
I'm convinced if Tracy McGrady stays in Toronto and plays with Vince Carter for another 5 to 7 years, they're probably in the NBA Finals 3 to 5 times during that stretch. So it happens. And that's why it's so important. The windows today in pro sports are so small. And you got when that moment happens, you gotta put all your eggs in the basket. You know, you could be critical of the fact that the Los Angeles Rams this year went 5-12 or 6-11, I don't know. But when it was time to put all the eggs in a basket and win a Super Bowl, they did that. Now they're paying for it, but guess what? You got what you wanted to get. So yeah, there was probably a 3-year window there that they played at an elite level. You know, and now unfortunately you pay for it a little bit. You know, the system works. Salary cap works. The draft works. The bad get good, and the good, it gets harder to stay good.
But isn't it worth it though? Isn't it worth it though?
Yeah,
I mean,
yes,
It's absolutely worth it.
It has to be worth it.
It is, but the one thing that reality still has to exist, and the problem is now you can't. We all want to win every year. There's only one team that wins at the end,
Right.
and you mentioned it earlier, Jermaine, and I really, they're in every game. Like they lost the other night in Phoenix. They lost in a close one last night. So they're not far off from being a pretty good team. And some nights they are a pretty good team. Now, are they a great team? Are they a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference right now? No. But are they in that next group? If maybe they had a little more depth, they could shoot a little better. Yeah, I'd say they would be. So to me, they're not far off. But what happens is when you win at a high level, and now things start to happen where you have to make decisions on who do I keep, who goes. I can only afford so much, the luxury tax, all that.
Right.
It gets harder to sustain it. And that's what the Raptors are going through right now. So the question is going to be here in the next week, are we in a reboot or more of a restructure and or a rebuild? and I don't know yet until I see how it plays out in the next 7 days.
So that's just a piece of our interview. We talked about a bunch of stuff with Jack. It was good talking to him again. He's always, always super cool to me, and that's when we're at the game. So, so what I want to do, if you guys can humor me, is now I want, having seen that, I'm going to send a link out. Right? Are we cool with that? We have a few minutes. I'll send the link out. And then you can either, you can either talk. You can talk about that. It doesn't have to be Raptors. You can talk about something else. It doesn't matter.
It's a good. He had a lot of good insights though, because I mean the Raptors. Well, I won't say anything. Let's wait.
No, go ahead. Say.
What you got?
I was just gonna say, like, looking at them on paper, like their record and on paper, they kind of look like trash, especially coming off last season. Like when they, they made it to the playoffs, a little run at least. Obviously, Scotty was hurt, but yeah, do they blow up? I guess if any of you guys are Raptors fans, come on in and chat. Do you think they should blow up? Do you think they need, what trade do they need? Yeah, and we should, like, also trade deadlines are coming up. So if you do, come on, let us know if you have a trade for your team or any recommendations on what other teams should get to. I know we need a big.
And just so you know, for those that come on, if you do have a trade, I'm going to bring Dev. You're the first one in, so you're coming in 1 second, Dev. Yeah. Next week, I've invited a bunch of people from the panel, so Low and some others, to join us, because I believe next Thursday is the NBA trade deadline. So we're going to do a live trade deadline, open mic kind of thing. The link is in there. Amok Sinister, it's in there. So Dev, what you got going on, man? How are you?
What's up?
Nothing much. I do have an issue with the All-Star game, the voting. Like
yes.
I said, Jalen Brunson's the best player on the Knicks. I don't think make it.
Yeah.
Drew Holiday, got surprised. I feel like James Harden should be made it, because as a fan, I like Drew Holiday. He's one of my players, but as a fan, I want to see Harden. Even though I know people don't like dribble, pass, don't like his style. That's entertainment for the fans. So I believe. So I have a question on you guys, because I've been seeing some trade talks about OG Anunoby to the Suns potentially, and Fluent as a Raptors guy, how you feel about OG being traded to the Raptors, and do you think that would be a good pickup for the Suns if that do happen?
So here's the thing. If I'm the Raptors, I'm doing everything in my power to keep OG Anunoby, because it's very, very rare to find a guy who's an all defensive player, who can also score and shoot. So those guys are so rare. Like, this guy is he's become an elite defender, and to give him up would be crazy.
Yeah.
But in terms of Phoenix, now again, it depends what you get for him. I've said this before. Everybody is tradable. There's people. They came out, the Raptors earlier. Someone said, "Oh, they'll trade everybody except Scotty Barnes," and I jokingly said, "Really? Because if Dallas called and said, we'll give you Luka, you're trading Scotty Barnes.
You're giving them up.
Everyone has that.
There's a price for everyone. Now, for some, the price is way too high. So if I'm the Raptors, I don't do it. If I'm Phoenix, depending on what I have to give up, absolutely, I'm doing that, because he adds, again, a lengthy defender who can knock down shots. We all might have forgotten that 3-pointer he hit game. I think it was the bubble against Philly, the one he won, right?
It was against Boston.
Boston game winner. Yeah,
corner three, bam, just book it, dude. So I'm keeping him if I can. Great pickup if Phoenix gets him. I believe the Raptors have been trying to get Ayton, however. So is that too much up, depending on where you're going? The one thing I heard that was interesting was Memphis and New Orleans both not wanting the other to get him. So they've started a bidding war. So it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out.
Because for me, I kind of understand. I get it, but I don't get it, because they're probably thinking, "Hey, we got Scotty Barnes. He has higher potential, OG Anunoby." But I'm like, keep both. And I know guy I would trade is probably Van Fleet, in my opinion. Even though you probably won't get as much value from him, you'll get something good enough. You probably get at least a role players, because right now the Raptors are having I still believe in Scotty Barnes. He have a little sophomore slump. But I feel like he still has a potential. I see Scotty Barnes perennial all-star, probably a solid number 2 guy. Yeah. Solid number 2. And also, trade rumor, and the Lakers. I think
Oh,
I like
Russ and
Russ,
Zach.
and they traded Russ. They should have shot the gun on the Buddy Hield Miles Turner trade. In my think about it. Well, I feel like because
I think that ship has sailed.
Yeah,
it's sailed. But I'm like for Russ because like I like Russell Westbrook. He's one of my favorite players. Thunder fan, but the Lakers they still need some. I'm just thinking about if I'm the GM, I'm thinking about my future right now. And winning championships. How can I make this roster and win a championship? I'd be good enough in the future. I need some young assets. So I need some young player that can shoot and give you some value because they're not gonna get they're not gonna get anything with their picks in the first. How the Lakers are okay at drafting. So I just
actually they're not okay at drafting. They've actually been. They've been good. They've been good at drafting, but the problem is that the way that this roster is built, it's not built to win the NBA championship. So there is no quick fix here. So if you're moving Russ, we got to move everybody.
If they can do like three different trades, 12-player swaps, 3 teams.
I like Rui.
Appreciate it, Jeff. Thanks, man. Yeah. LB, you up next. LB, what you got? Going once, LB.
Hello.
Twice. There it is.
What I gotta do?
Good, man. How are you?
Good.
I'm good. I actually genuinely didn't expect it to be on here. I just clicked it first time I tried it. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can. What you got for us?
What do you got?
Nothing.
What am I? Okay.
He got nothing.
You want to think about it and come back?
You can come back.
We're talking trade deadlines. If you got
talking trade deadlines. You can come back. Think about it and come back.
We'll bring on my goat.
Yo, what's good, guys? How y'all doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good.
I have a feeling we're going to talk about a Pistons trade.
We are. We absolutely are going to talk about the Pistons. That's what we're talking about.
But we're not going to talk about the trade. We're going to talk about a hot take I have when it comes to my Pistons.
All right.
And that hot take is that the 2003-04 run was better than the 88-89 finals run.
No, it was not. No, it wasn't.
Let me see.
No,
the only
I feel
way
like you've asked this before.
I feel like the only way you can make that argument.
I
feel like the only way you can make that argument is if you're someone who believes the expansion era ruined basketball.
It wasn't.
No, but like in my opinion,
are
the conference semifinals, conference finals, and the NBA finals were more tougher in my opinion. For me, the New Jersey Nets are a better team than the Milwaukee Bucks. For me, the Indiana Pacers, who are on top of the game, are a better collective unit, you could say, than the team we played against MJ. Because the team that MJ had wasn't the same team that swept us. It was a totally different team. I don't think they had Scottie Pippen.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Yes, it was.
But they had
the same crew. That's not true. They had the same crew.
I'm going to ask you a question. Hold on. I'm going to ask you a question. We got guys, Madge and Leaf. We're going to get you guys in here in a second. Let me ask you a question. How did you become a Pistons fan?
So, all right. Basically, I was in.
Because you're not from Detroit, right?
No, I live in Mexico. Born and raised in Mexico. Okay. So, I was in the elementary school in our library, and they had like 2 books, English books, about the Detroit Pistons, both from the Bad Boys and then the 2003 Pistons. So I read those 2 books, and I started to like the Pistons. Then I bought like NBA 2K13 or something, and that was when the Pistons were horrible. Like we were horrible at that time, and I still played with them, and I still loved them. And you know, I started watching the Pistons. I started becoming a Pistons fan. Luckily, I had the opportunity to go in 2016, the Cavs versus Pistons playoff series, which we lost 4-0, but it was a competitive series. And, you know, I still love the Pistons. I love it trash.
All right.
But
appreciate that.
Good.
Yeah. So
I
appreciate y'all for having me on.
Appreciate you.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
I don't know. I feel like the Bad Boy Pistons versus the Bad Boy reboot. You know, I always like the original better. That's just me. Match.
Yo.
What's up?
Hello.
How y'all doing?
Good, man. How are you?
What's going on, brother?
Yo, so I got a question for you, Fluent. I was like, what's your top 10?
My top, like all time?
Yeah. I know you don't rate current players.
All right. So
all time.
all time. I don't have any current players because I don't. Well, I have one exception.
Except Braun.
Except Braun. Yeah, I make the one exception. So I got now. Keep in mind, I'm changing this. So keep that in mind, guys, because I've told these guys too that I'm going through a whole new algorithm. But what I had before was Mike, LeBron, Kareem, Magic, Kobe, Bird, Duncan, Chamberlain, Shaq, Olajuwon.
But and Braun's higher than he was. Like you
No,
just
Braun's always
recently
been
made
two.
that.
No, Braun's always been two.
I thought you were like what's his face and had
No. Duncan?
8.
Yeah.
Duncan, yeah.
Yeah, Duncan was
Okay.
7.
Okay, so my question is, because I watched your video, Chill, on the top 10 and your criteria, and you said it was impact, winning. I forgot what the other two were.
Is your game timeless? Did you dominate? Did you win? How impactful was your game? How socially impactful were you?
Okay, and see, that's where I was, and that last point, and I was thinking, I was like, okay, you have Bill Russell at 5.
Who are you talking about?
He's asking you.
Yeah, Chill.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
And I was thinking to myself, like, all right, look, I understand. I'm younger, and that's why I come up here to ask y'all. I'm not saying you're old, but I was trying to say, like, do you genuinely think Bill Russell's game translates through all eras?
I think he would be awesome today. How fast the game is, his ability to rebound, his ability to transition, I think he would be impossible today. No doubt about it.
And my thing is, I get that he was an elite defender, but how do you think he was offensively?
How was he offensively?
Yeah,
he was average because that was the league average what he was doing.
No, I actually disagree. For his time,
yeah,
he was really good. He was one of the better.
Well, when I say average, though, I'm talking about field goal percentage. In terms of his production, he was elite.
His field goal percentage was top 10 for his era.
Right.
His scoring was top 5 for his era.
Right.
For his era. So
Yeah,
how would it translate if you put him in a time machine? Probably not that great. But if he was the same athlete and he was born now, I would assume and he grew up shooting and doing those things, those numbers would go up. So in relative to his era, he was top 10 in points and field goal percentage. So he's actually really good.
Yeah. And these two guys differ.
He's not in my top 10, but he
same.
still was really good.
But I think these two guys differ because Chill has he takes that social aspect into account.
Yeah, I don't.
You separate those things.
I don't put that in.
That's that can come into play as well. But yeah.
And I bring that up to say because I see that Chill has Kobe and Curry outside his top 10. And I'm thinking, like, who has had more of like an impact, like socially changing the game than Kobe and Curry over the last like 25 years?
Okay, so I can tell you who didn't. Kobe, because he bit his game off of Jay. So it ain't like he changed the game. He bit his game off of Jordan. So he didn't do anything different.
All right. And to defend that, if you say that, wouldn't you say Kobe's game out of all next to Jordan is probably one of the most like they can translate across any era compared to like most players? Like is the highest? You rank that up to like it's the highest.
I wouldn't say it's the highest. I think Olajuwon would be awesome today. I think Chamberlain would be awesome today. I think Jabbar would be awesome today. I think Magic would be awesome today. I think Bird would be awesome today. I think Tim Duncan would be awesome today in terms of their game. I think James, you already see what he's doing. Jordan would be awesome today. All of these guys would be awesome. I don't think that Kobe's game translate any more than these other guys. No, I do not think that.
I disagree, Madge. I disagree with him completely on that. I think Kobe in today's game, having so many other skillful scorers who are averaging 20 points per game, would trust his teammates, and not only would he be averaging 30 points a game, he would be averaging way more assists, because when you're on a team with Kwame Brown, with Smush Parker, with all those scrubs that he had, I get it. I don't want to pass either. So I think he absolutely translates exceptionally to today.
It's the same dude. This the same dude who told Smush Parker, "You don't need to talk to me. Just pass me the ball." That's who. This is the same dude.
And he was right about that. And he was right.
And it leads me to our last thing. So, do you think that Kobe would be better than Olajuwon today, and Magic Johnson today, or Tim Duncan today?
No, I don't.
No.
Listen, it's difficult to talk. You Tone. He asking me if I think that. Why would he be better today? His game is not better than Olajuwon's game. His game is not better than Tim Duncan's game. His game is not better than Magic's game. His game, I don't think he's a better player than these guys. So why would his game translate more today than these dudes?
Because he's better than those dudes.
I don't even know why we having this conversation.
I mean, out of all
y'all
four of us,
dudes,
Chill actually played against him, so he knows his game better than we'll ever know.
You dudes are not going to convince me about Kobe Bryant. You're not going to do it.
No.
I don't. In the 75-year history of the NBA, there have only been 10 guys, I think. And the interesting thing, which really bugs me out, is what if I had Kobe Bryant at 10 instead of 11? Would I have to defend any of this?
No.
Would I? Yes. Would I have to defend any of this?
No.
If I had him at 10 instead of 11.
Put him at 10 and you can get out. And then you won't have this anymore.
Unbelievable.
Appreciate you, man.
I'm sorry.
I appreciate. Don't apologize. I appreciate you, man.
You're good.
Have a good night, brother.
Chill, man.
Are you two guys?
Hey, yo,
I hate this question.
75-year history of the NBA, Tone. I only think it's 10 guys. How many guys have come through the NBA? Over like 6,000 guys have come through the NBA. I only think it's 10 guys in the history of the game that are better than him. That's it. Not 15,
it's
not 100.
One too many.
Not, and if I had him at 10 instead of 11, I wouldn't have to answer any questions. Can you imagine that?
Many.
Don't cave, Chill. Don't cave. Hi,
and I'm not.
What's going on, man? I got
just
Kobe.
keep him at 11 at a principal. All right, what's up, man?
I got Kobe at number 4.
I agree with you.
Yeah, but I'm really frustrated right now at the state of the Western Conference, and like the top teams at the Western Conference, they're not showing a sense of urgency right now to basically pull away, man. I just watched that Memphis.
You know why I'm not listening to this? I'm not listening to this nonsense because I had to watch the Western Conference for a decade be awesome. I don't care that the Western Conference sucks now. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it from you. I don't.
They're nowhere near as bad as the East was. When
right, and I'm an Eastern Conference. I'm an Eastern Conference guy. So I had to watch the Western Conference.
When everybody in the West had to win 50 games to make the playoffs. No one was complaining, so
I'm not listening to you with this, fam. You know why?
No.
I feel you though. Go finish your thought.
Just hear me out. I'm talking about the sense of urgency to just pull away. Like why? Like there's a reason like why people still believe in the Lakers and people still believe in the Warriors as bad as they are. Because like everything is so knit close. There's for Memphis to be losing the games that they losing in the fashion that they losing them.
They got smoked tonight. Cleveland smoked them.
Cleveland smoked them. I just got finished watching that game, bro. But when you got teams like when you got teams that are aging like the Warriors and the Lakers on the ropes, you gotta basically put your foot on their neck. You got to put a sledgehammer on their neck and keep continuing to put that pressure on. They don't need to be nowhere near the playoffs, in my opinion, bro. And this is why nowhere near the way they've been playing.
So, do you remember when I told you that Memphis was a playing team and you were ready to strangle me? Remember when I told you that?
No, you told me the Pelicans were. But
not you. I'm talking about Tone. Tone, remember when I told you that Memphis was a playing team and you were ready to strangle me? I'm trying to tell you, Tone. Okay.
I'm still not convinced.
And this is one of the reasons why I went out on a limb early in the year with teams that never even been to the conference finals before, and I said the Pelicans was going to win the West because it seemed to be wide open to me, and it still is.
Well, you just mentioned it. You did.
I said that, and I was and everybody just laughed at me, thought I was joking and everything. I'm like, man, listen, watch what it is. I'm very impressed with what the Sacramento Kings is doing because defensively, like I think they have made a serious turnaround. Mike Brown has really got them guys to buy in.
No. He's a horrible coach. He's a good one.
You never heard that from my mouth. You never heard that from mine.
You heard it from mine. I didn't. You heard it from mine. I didn't.
I know for a fact that he is. So I'm not surprised.
I did not think that.
There were.
Well, I think in terms of coaching superstars, maybe, but in terms of coaching no names and like guys that don't really have the big names and the big market and value names, man, I think he is doing great for Sacramento right now.
I think he's coach of the year, to be honest with you. If the season ended today, I think he's the coach of the year.
I don't think it's crazy to say that. I just said your line. Like, I
think you meant.
That's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that.
Yeah, that's not ridiculous to say. Yeah, you got to. Yeah, you wild, man. But I just wanted to know what's your opinions on because we've seen so many teams at number 1 in the West this year alone, and neither one of them were the Warriors or the Lakers. So like I just want to know your opinion on the state of the Western Conference and these young teams just not being able to like to just pound away and just like a leap and just make the leap forward, man. Like
Well, you just mentioned it.
But you just said exactly why.
From I think from 5 to 13 is only separated about 3.5 games.
And that's pitiful to me because
That's
I don't want
nuts.
to. I don't want to see Steph anymore. I don't want to see LeBron anymore. I'm done seeing these dudes, man. Like, get them out of my face.
But it's not happening.
Who do you want to see? Zion?
From five.
I would like to. I would
Are you
like
a
to see
Pelicans fan?
Zion. I live in Brooklyn, so like that's I got my own,
alright.
I got my own problems. But
From
like,
5 to 13.
I got my
From
own
5 to
problems.
13.
Because, like the Eastern Conference, listen,
2.5.
it's hard for me to
2.5
disagree
games,
with
5 to
Chilltown.
13.
So not 3, it's on 2.5 games.
2.5 games, 5 to 13.
2.5 games from 5 to 13.
As a Nets fan, it's hard for me to disagree with everything that Chilltown said. He said he said it last year, and the same thing happened this year, man. I just don't see it. And as good as we are playing, as good as Kyrie has been playing the last couple of games, as good as Claxton has been playing, man, I think he's a top 3 candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. I just don't see it. It's going to take a lot of luck for us to get up out of it. It's almost going to take a lot of luck. It's almost as it took the Bucks to get out in 2021. So, like, I think it's going to take a lot of luck. But as far as the Western Conference, I am sick to my stomach of what I'm seeing from Memphis and all of these other teams. There's no way. And I like what Denver is doing. And obviously I had Jokic as MVP, but I don't think that there's no way that Memphis is not supposed to be running off with this.
I turned the TV off last night after the first quarter. Get Brooklyn off my TV. Get them off my television.
I wouldn't go that far, man. I mean,
get Brooklyn.
Oh no, we will go.
Get
Brooklyn off my TV.
Listen, we got drawn by the number one team.
I like watching Brooklyn when KD's playing.
Everybody loves watching.
I like watching Brooklyn at any time just to see Ben Simmons.
I ain't watching Brooklyn be down by 30 at the end of the first quarter. Get Brooklyn off my TV. Get them off.
At the end of the first quarter, by the number one team
Ben Simmons out of this damn league.
Get them off my TV. Get them off
my TV. The number one team in the league had them down by 30. I'm not proud of it.
Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard needs to recruit Ben Simmons.
No.
All right, we got 2 more people waiting, and we're overtime. Yo,
good to talk to you, brother.
Yeah. Have a good night.
Good vibes, man.
Okay.
Kevo.
Hello.
What's up, Fluent? What's up, Chill?
What up?
Yeah, I just want to talk about how around this time every year, the Lakers fans always want everybody to come to the Lakers. Like, especially Levine, because like, what do y'all have over there that y'all could give to me for
sun, palm trees, beautiful people, nice houses. LA, baby.
Like, they always offering a pack of noodles.
That's it
for Zach Levine,
and not even a seasoning in the ramen noodles. Neither, just the noodles. Because you're not even getting the ramen.
He wants to come to Hollywood. He wants to be a star.
Can I get a soda with that?
Happily, right?
Yeah.
Happily.
Why would you want to live in Chicago? It's cold. It's snowy. It's windy. People aren't very nice. Your football team stinks. Like, why would anyone want to live in Chicago?
No facts.
Our football team stinks.
Yeah, it does.
Till
I'm a lifelong fan. Trust me, I know they stink.
Till 2024, our football team stinks.
So what do you think about that trade, real quick?
What was the trade? Zach for what is the rumor trade? Zach for who?
So
Russ and that.
Oh, for Russ.
Oh, you go ahead. Sorry.
Oh,
so ESPN. I'm sorry. Yeah. So ESPN made a trade proposal saying that we give the Lakers Zach, Lonzo, and Javonte Green for Russ, Pat, and Max Christie. Like, who the hell is that?
Why y'all doing that? Why are we doing that?
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Here's why. Chicago.
Listen to this right here.
Chicago is the 12th seed. Okay, so Chicago is a play-in team. So you bring in Russ. When you bring in Russ, what does that mean? You're going to lose games. So now they drop out of the playoffs where they belong because the play is a joke. And
12 seeds. 12. But by the way, 12 is not a play-in team. We're in the lottery.
My bad. 10. Okay. 10. So they drop down and improve their chances of getting a nice high lottery pick.
Mm-hmm.
Russ comes off the books with $44 million in cap space. Now they can actually build a team that can compete because right now you're in 10th place. You don't have a team that can compete. Correct. So you get all that cash, you get a high draft pick, and you get some young players. That's why you make that trade. You don't make it. It's not for this year. You make that trade for next year.
So
if you're 10th, you're not there. You're not there.
You're not close. You're not close if you 10th.
Yeah,
But I think we knew that.
Close, but
like do you want to run it? You want to run it back with DeMar and
it wasn't
Vucevic
meant to
and
run
Levine?
this way, though. This isn't.
No, I don't.
You want to run it back with Vucevic, Levine, and DeMar and get nowhere? No. Let's blow it up.
But Lonzo's not even eligible. Like he's done, right?
Teams are too slow to blow it up. Blow the damn thing up. Blow it up.
I say the only person that we could trade that's valuable is DeMar.
No, I think Levine. I don't. Again, we don't know what actually happened, but Levine had that whole locker room brouhaha, and apparently he wants out. So let him go, and then do what's best for your team. Always do what's best for your team.
And another thing is, y'all was talking about how weak the West is now, which I could completely agree. But I kind of still think that the Warriors might be the team to beat if they turn it on late like last year, because it's like when they turn it on as a team, nobody's stopping them.
The West, listen, I disagree a little bit with the West being weak, more so that the West has been unable to create separation. The good teams in the West haven't created, like if you think about it, I want to look at here, 13th, there's only 11 games between 1st and 13th.
But
that's
Fluent,
really.
I think, let me just tell you, because I watch typically all the West games. I try to watch all of them. And being a Warrior fan, like, the Warriors are garbage, and I agree with you. I think they can turn. No. Hear me out. I love them with all my heart.
Are they trash? Is your crew trash? H, yes or no?
They're garbage, absolutely. but I 100% agree with you. After the All-Star game gets going, that's when the season's going to heat up for everybody. But just to tell you, like, that's how bad our team has been, and that's how many games the number 1 seed is above us. So I don't think the West is very good. Not at all. I think the West is trash as a whole. I think it's been garbage. But so many superstars have been out, injuries, all that. I think after come All-Star break, maybe some trades get going. I think we'll start to see separation.
That's good insight.
Get that garbage out of here.
That's great insight.
I'm done. I can't even watch this game.
I'm stuck on H talking about her team. We garbage.
It's trash.
Trash.
Kevin, I appreciate it. We got one more.
Appreciate y'all.
H already making it clear. I'm not fooling myself. We trash.
True.
My Niners. I'm in a hello.
Yo, chill.
What up?
I come in here with some heat. Okay, so I gotta ask y'all a question. Who y'all think is better, Tyrese Halliburton or John C. Murray?
Oh,
Halliburton or Murray?
I got Murray. So if you got Halliburton, you got some smoke coming. So me, who y'all got first though?
I'm actually gonna go Halliburton. Yeah.
Halliburton or Murray?
Yeah.
DeJounte Murray?
Yeah.
I think Murray is better than him. I think Murray.
Chill on my side, Fluent.
I think Murray is better than him.
What?
Yeah, I think I'm more Murray as well.
Oh,
I think
Hailey,
I think I'll tell you what. I think DeJounte has possibly a higher ceiling, maybe, but I think what Tyrese has done. I mean, yeah, he's not the prettiest, but he's not maybe the most offensively productive. He's more of that, like, he'll get you your assists. He's a great playmaker. That's what I see. But
I wasn't really expecting y'all to say Tyrese, but my reasoning why I thought Murray was better because he's a better defender. And I don't know if y'all might call me crazy, but if you watch the Atlanta games, every time Trae Young is out, I think they're better with Murray than Trae Young. Because prime example, the start of the season, the Bucks 11-game win streak. Trae Young dropped 42-8. They lose the game. Trae Young sit out the next game. DeJounte Murray in that streak. I think they.
Here's the thing, though. This is what I'm doing right now. I'm not trying to hear none of your logic about the Atlanta Hawks because about 3 months ago, you was trying to sell me the Atlanta Hawks. OG, watch out for the Atlanta Hawks. They're the number 4 seed. I told you they was garbage. I told you that, and you didn't want to listen to me. I told you that they was a playing team. I told you that. I told you that Atlanta was a playing team. I told you that. You wasn't trying to hear me.
But look, he was so good in San Antonio. So you thinking him with Trae Young and he can move off the ball? I'm just thinking.
You thought that was gonna work?
Yeah, because I thought Trae Young had DeJounte Murray that defense because it was him and Hurt in the backcourt. I think so. It was just 2 cones. So when he added Murray, I'm thinking, okay, he got some defense. I don't know. The problem was not working. But because Trae Young got a problem with the coach, I think if they move Trae Young, they'll be better for Murray, in my opinion.
I think you looking. I told you this months ago. You were completely leaving out a lot of other. You were just looking at Trae Young.
Who is Trae Young going to be though?
I'm not even thinking about Trae Young.
Is he going to be like a number 1 option on a different?
But that's what I'm saying. He comes across as this guy that needs to be the number 1 option, or he's unhappy. But when you look at the way that he plays, what do you put around him?
Who would he run? Oh, I get what you're saying.
That's what I've been wondering.
That's a good question.
Like, how do you like you give me any player, I can figure out a way to build a team around him. Trae Young, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, you can still build a unit around him, Tone. He's still an elite distributor. He can score the basketball. He is a lead guard, no doubt. The problem that we have with him is that his offense overall, so his ability to score, he takes a lot of bad shots, which throws the unit off. And because he takes a lot of bad shots, I ain't even on the coach being on him. What that does is that screws them up in a number of different ways. Their ability to rebound, their ability to defend in transition. He does all of these things that screw them up. Now, his ability to pass, I think that's at an elite level. His ability to score can be at an elite level, but the other stuff is where we get ourselves in trouble, where if you plan on a team with him as a defender, you got to have an elite defensive team because you can't hide him come playoff time.
Yeah.
That's why I thought Murray will fit with him because Murray, lead defender.
Right, that's fine. But what about the other stuff? Like, what about the bad shots? We can't take that out, and we can't take out the fact that they lost Gallo. We can't take out the fact that they lost Herter. We can't take out the fact that who's the kid that I'm thinking about from Duke that he didn't pan out. So there's a lot of other.
He's on the Knicks now.
Yeah, he's on the Knicks now. There's a lot of other things that didn't work in Atlanta. So I knew that this. I just felt like this thing. Reddick, Cam Reddish. I think that this thing. I felt like this thing was going the other way, but everybody was wrapped up in what they had done previous years. They were going backwards. They were in the Eastern Conference Championship in 21, and in 22 they're in the play-in tournament. So they were going the other way. Yeah, they were going the other way. So I wasn't sold on them at all.
So, Chi, I got a question to ask you, and then I'm gonna get them going. So I remember because someone asked you, "How do you see the Hawks doing in the future?" And you said, "I remember you saying you don't see them being together that long." What you correct that? So if you're the Hawks, do you stick with Murray?
Yes. You definitely stick with Murray.
Because I think if you got Trae Young on the blocks, they told my 3 first round for OG and Anunoby. That might be 6. Might be double that. Plus a star player.
So hey, you're saying hang on to DeJounte, and then maybe if somebody has to go, it should be Trae.
Yeah, I think DeJounte. Yeah. I think DeJounte. He's probably smarter. He just. I think because he's.
I'm just saying. I'm sorry because as a Hawks fan, like they're just never good. I'm sorry.
They're mid-team.
I'm sorry they got to deal with it. I'm sorry
they're mid-team.
That's tough.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate
easy, yo.
Bye. Have a good night.
Your Warriors are getting smoked again.
Yeah, I'm used to it.
By Mr. Triple Double, who I feel like didn't I say he was going to win 3 straight MVPs? I feel very confident about that now. I feel very confident about that.
It's happening. I keep telling people. I literally made a video and people are tripping out because they're like, "Oh, Luka should be number 1," and I'm like, "Dude, do you not understand that? Like, you're like people don't think that team standing has anything to do with it when it's like it's not just most valuable player. People don't. I don't know. I looked up like what does it mean to be an MVP, and there's no real guidelines.
No, there's no criteria. Criteria.
Anyway, Double P. Bill Russell is an underrated all-time athlete.
Yes, agreed.
Yes,
that's a fact.
Yes. Isn't there a doc coming out about it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
What's today? Today's the 2nd on the 8th of February on Netflix.
Yep. I posted and I forgot. Then you got the Rauf one coming out too, right?
I think that's on the 5th. I think that's this weekend.
Ooh.
On Showtime.
There's gonna be a lot of stuff to watch.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got everyone's. I think we got everything done.
We did. Yes, we did. This Milwaukee Bucks team looking whack against the Clippers right now. They're looking real whacked. I don't like it.
Is everybody in except for
yes? Yeah, they go Giannis, they go Middleton. They all out there.
Oh,
there's Leonard, there's Paul George. They all out there.
So Jay, you picked Giannis at the beginning of the season to be.
I'm still sticking with that, but I would not be surprised if Joker won the league MVP. That would not surprise me at all. And I understand what people are talking about with Joel Embiid. Tony and I had this conversation a year ago. Jason Tatum is in the MVP conversation, like I thought he would, but I think that the league MVP, I still pick Giannis, and I'm sticking with that.
Mm-hmm. That's who
I'm picking Jokic to win 4 in a row.
No, there's no way. Okay, do you guys think that? Do you guys think, first of all, do you think they're gonna make the finals this season?
I'm looking at the Western Conference. I'm looking at
They should.
I'm looking at the Western Conference, and I don't see how I don't see how they can't make it because, like we just got finished talking about, there is no separation in the Western Conference. There is not one team that I'm thinking, even though I had said in the beginning of the season, and I still stand on it, that the road to the NBA championship goes through Golden State. Until somebody knocks them out, that I still think that the road goes through them. However, I'm looking at that Denver team, and in the Western Conference, they might be the most complete team in the Western Conference. And I don't really see anybody that's more complete than them and that can beat them, with the exception of maybe the Clippers. And I think that the Lakers would give them a run for their money if the Lakers made the playoffs. I think that the Lakers would give them a run for their money if they made the playoffs, but I'm not sure if the Lakers could beat them. But I'm not sure.
Lakers are different, so we can see something. Yeah.
What about Russ for Trae Young?
Nah.
No, we're not.
No, that's gross. They don't need that. Well, they
Gross.
do need
with a capital G. H. One more time, H.
That's gross.
Nasty.
I like Trae too. I really do like. But
isn't that what you're supposed to do? Throw good money at bad money?
No.
Hey, I love Russ, and I'm liking him this season. He's been better than So all right, you guys. So
$44 million sixth man. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, that's
so
crazy.
stop saying 44 million. His contract is prorated, so it's like 21 million now. So that's all we on the hook for once we trade for him. So it's not like we trading for 44 million. No, the Lakers already paid half of that, or more than half of that. So by the time we trade him, so we getting the other half. So we good. 21 million sound a lot better than 44 million, Tone.
Still sounds
that's what he's getting paid this year. If he stays on the Lakers the whole year, that's what he'd get paid for a whole season as a sixth man.
Russ shot
that job. I want
2 of
that
16 tonight with 4 turnovers. Ooh.
There you go. 2 of 16 with 4 turnovers.
Gross.
And the Lakers won. And they won too.
Oh, they did.
They lucky
they
they have
did
the GOAT, Anthony Davis.
They won.
He back, baby. Cool.
They should be 3-1 on this trip.
So next week, we're gonna have some guests. We'll have a pretty solid panel. And we are going to
we're gonna recap all the
trade
trades.
deadlines.
Yes.
Or when is
the trade deadline should be
next Thursday. It's gonna be
the
3
morning
o'clock.
Though, right?
Yeah, it ends at 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. Yeah, so we'll have
3
all
o'clock
the trades
Eastern.
in.
So we'll just do a big breakdown.
Yeah,
Have
just a
some
big
guests
breakdown.
on.
We can talk about all the trades that we thought were going to happen that didn't actually happen.
And James is going to be the scoring champ by next week.
Yeah, you will be.
He's going to be the scoring champ.
He's going to, and I'm telling you right now, Tony, he's going to do it in Milwaukee, where Jabbar played at. That's where he's going to do it.
You think? I thought it would be at home. You don't think he wants to do it at home?
Nope, he's going to do it in Milwaukee, where Jabbar played at.
He's going to try to.
What did he score? 26 tonight.
Yep.
So he's 63 away.
Something like that.
That's easy.
And what's the Lakers' schedule?
OKC.
They play New Orleans and then Milwaukee. He's going to do it in Milwaukee, where Jabbar played at.
Wait. Who's tonight? OKC was tonight?
No, Indiana was tonight. They play New Orleans on Saturday. What's today? Thursday. I think they play. Yeah, they play New Orleans on Saturday. And then they play Milwaukee, and that's where he's going to do it at.
Okay. Interesting.
So you think he's going to score 60? How many points did I say?
That's just like 32, 31 each game.
I don't know about that.
He could do that.
No. He's got no.
He drops 50 when he wants.
He's got the Pelicans. He's got the Pelicans, the Thunder, and then the Bucks.
Yeah. OKC. So
the Pelicans, the Thunder, and the Bucks. I think he's going to do it.
What I say, 89. So he was 89, and he scored 26. So he's 63 away.
Yeah.
But OKC, they're selling tickets for like 75 grand.
You don't think
92 at 92 stacks.
Because but that's just for marketing, I bet. Because they just want to get all the money raked in.
Can you imagine paying $92,000?
Please, to sit in the front row to watch James break the all-time scoring record.
I mean, if I
them tickets will go like hotcakes.
Let me finish the scenario. Jesus Christ! Could you imagine paying $92,000 to sit at a Lakers Thunder game to watch LeBron break the record, and he doesn't?
That's what I'm saying, and that's what they're doing.
Or Tone, to pay $92,000 for him to break the record, and he doesn't play that night.
No. Oh no.
Because people are saying that. People are saying he could skip any game just to like make sure it happens according to when he wants.
If he sits out,
it'll be mutiny. It'll be no question about it.
Dude,
you know what? I want him to sit up now. I want him to say,
look. See, look at
load management. Sit out that game. for one, to teach idiots a lesson for paying $92,000. Go feed the homeless, not $92,000 for a seat to watch LeBron James. Go feed the homeless. There's a lot of them in LA. Trust me, they're everywhere. And he should load manage. And then what that'll do, I believe it'll start a big enough uproar that they somehow mandate and stop people from doing it.
Like we can't.
But here's the thing, exactly what David said, and what I was thinking earlier today is not only like these games are so crucial for their team standing as well. So he can't just be missing.
He doesn't
games.
care about the team standings. Stop it.
He doesn't. You think he doesn't care? Like once this is done, is he just not going to care? I feel like he cares.
All I'm gonna say is Kobe passed MJ in Minnesota as a Laker, which is originally where the Lakers were. And then James is going to pass Jabbar in Milwaukee, where Jabbar's career started. I'm going on record. I'm saying it.
I like it. All right, chat. Well, we appreciate you all tonight. Thanks for the super chats. A great conversation. And yeah, if you're free next week, definitely stop by for a live panel. But if you're not, no problem. You can always watch it and leave comments below. Get those likes up before you hop off. It helps us obviously get our content out there, and go check out the other videos on Player's Choice as well. But for now, Jay, go ahead and take it away.
Take it light, but take it.
For those that want to see the Jack Armstrong full interview on here on Player's Choice, if you want to listen to it, Apple Podcast, whatever you listen to your podcast, look up Fluent and Chill. It'll be there in about 15 minutes.
Check us out.
Absolutely.
Find us at
Bye, guys.